Good evening, and welcome to Blades in the Dark and Doskvol Dalliances. Oh, we have a very delicious night of heists and dabbling in forces in which we ought not ahead of us. So, let us get started with a quick set of introductions. Starting with my friend Chase.
Hello, I am Chase. You can find me at Fromonger on everywhere on the internet. I basically only use Twitter right now, but hit me up on Steam or something. Play City Skylines with me. I don't know.
Excellent. And you are playing?
I am going to be playing Bart, known on the job as Beryl, a large boy who has yet to hit anyone but soon.
That may change tonight. Although, it may not, depending on how you're... I mean, honestly, combat is like a failure mode for y'all, because you're a spy group. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. Cole.
Hi, I'm Cole. You can find me on the twits over at Cole Moriel. And tonight I'm going to be playing the Vina Voronin, a demon pirate person.
Not tiefling.
The not tiefling. I almost said tiefling, but she's not the tiefling.
She's not a tiefling. There aren't tieflings.
Oh, no.
But there are people with demon heritage, so it's whatever. Forda.
Hi, I'm Forda Bear on pretty much everything except my Instagram, which is LexArts. And I'm going to be playing Cecropia Daphnis, who is known as Rhodes amongst the underworld.
Indeed.
He's essentially a Mothman.
He's a Mothman. Yeah.
What do you want from me?
More Taika Rossi. And last but not least, my friend Nat.
Hi, I'm Nat. You can find me at CrimeNat on the internet. I'm going to be playing Avmalia Strangford, the Whisper who... I'm acting like this.
This is an invisible sun.
I'm just... I consort with... commune with unknowable entities.
Yeah,
Right.
with the eldritch demonic horrors beneath the sea, yes. And we are playing the crew, the Shadows crew, Rhodes and Company. It's a real reach with the name, I mean. A strange but professional crew of spies who primarily work in the district known as Night Market. So that's where we are. So this is our fourth session. So let's start off. Last week, Nat wasn't able to join us. We understand that you were doing a big, epic conclusion to another campaign, which totally worth celebrating. So yeah. However, as we talked about offline, we still wanted you to have your downtime actions. So can you just tell us briefly what your downtime actions were?
So, I trained prowess to get that level 2 prowl. Fit in with the as quiet as a stream at nighttime. Yeah. And then I worked on my long-term project to keep tabs on that book of Void Seed charts that last we heard the Wraiths had.
I forgot about that. Okay. Did you finish that clock?
I believe so, unless I was misremembering how many segments it had.
It's whatever was in the sheet.
I got 3 segments on it. I'm pretty sure I was about half done before.
Okay. So what specifically was the clock?
To keep tabs on it, so that we might be able to, intercede into its life in the future.
And what kind of actions were you using to do that? Was it like a tune to
I used a tune first, and then the second one was consort? Not consort. I think I just attuned twice. So magic.
Okay, that's exactly what I was looking for. So magically, you have determined that the map book has been sold and is no longer in the possession of the Wraiths. It seems to have been taken I think within a tune it would be difficult to tell where exactly, but to a very secure facility that your scrying cannot penetrate details of, but you know that the Ministry of Preservation has purchased the book from the raids.
Alright, so question, was this long-term project to get a snapshot of like who the Rave sold it to, or is this to set up something that I could come back to and be like,
Yeah, I think we could. I think we should put some thought into it, but I think you absolutely do want to. I mean, you put downtime actions into it. I think you should get something out of that, and not just like the rumor. So I think we'll come back to figuring out what that is, mostly because we have to figure out where they actually took it. What I know is that the Ministry of Preservation bought it, and I know why they bought it.
Ooh, tea.
But that I think that you should get. Well, we'll have to figure out how we handle that. Of that, because I'm 100% confident that Avmalia will be extremely interested in that. More so than the usual. Well, I think actually you already know that because you know who the map book originally belonged to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could. So both Net and Avmalia could probably draw some reasonable inferences about that.
She's still trying to figure out where her past life integrates with her current one.
It's fair. It's very fair. Let's see what else. Rhodes, you completed your clock to learn how to gain favor with the Circle of Flame.
I did.
I can't recall. Did we talk about what that was?
So, you said that an artifact of Kovar was close to being found.
Yes,
and
they found one.
Mm-hmm.
And that what?
You had said that, if I'm remembering this correctly, I should say, that there was one relatively nearby in the Deathlands that was worth looking into.
So, more specifically, it's not in the Deathlands per se, but it is outside. Oh, I was looking everywhere for this. It is not in the Deathlands per se. It is in, what do they call it specifically? It is in the Lost District, which is a part of Doskvol that is just outside the lightning barrier. So it's part of the Deathlands, yes, but it's not out in the wilderness is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
However, it is, as you can imagine, extremely dangerous in there. But retrieving that another artifact of Kovar from there would certainly gain you great favor. Now, I think that it is an open question, and not many people know what the artifacts of Kovar are, in any great detail anyway. At a high level, people understand. It's the eye, hand, and heart of Kotar. Sorry, of Kotar, not Kovar. Kovar is a buddy of mine in real life. Kotar. Yes, the eye, hand, and heart of Kotar are said to possess great power for those bold enough to risk their use. So you could perhaps do some research, and if all of you want to do a score out there, we could. I would strongly suggest figuring out ways to make preparations for venturing out beyond the lightning barrier first.
Oh, definitely.
One of you is able to do it easily. Char can do it. But that's Char's background, and they've got some stuff to do that. So that's cool. What else? Oh, yes. Who was it? Just Rhodes who had, of the folks who are here tonight, I should say. Was it just Rhodes who had trauma last week?
I believe so.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Rhodes, tell us about the trauma that you took and what that looked like as they were gone for a while.
Oh. on top of being made unstable by the encounter with the demons, and infuriated to the point of being speechless in some regards and making death threats in others, he ran off and has become obsessed with this thought of the occult, but specifically more in the practical applications thereof. He doesn't care about the just knowing for knowing's sake. He wants to know how it can be applied to be useful. And so I'm very happy that this artifact of Kotar may probably benefit from this new obsession.
Which makes sense. We're going to get to everybody else's dangers in a little bit, but I want to point out for Avmalia in particular, who's been gone for a little bit. Avmalia, your sleep has been troubled. At night, you have these repetitive dreams. Is it a stress dream? Is it a nightmare? Is it a premonition? Who can say? But you have these recurring dreams of drowning, of seeing your comrades drown, and of even now the waters rising around you where you are somehow. And you wake up and you're fine. You go back to sleep. But sometimes you're dreaming that even that your rail car fills with water. Sometimes you are dreaming that the whole city drowns. Sometimes that just somehow you're drowning and you can't figure out why. Sometimes you're just seeing your friends drown. You see Rhodes and Bart and I swear I'm going to say her name wrong. Davina, and Eyes and Char and Wife drowning in front of you, and there's nothing you can do. It's just dreams. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. Nothing. That's basically the while you were out sort of thing.
This is fine.
And yes, as a couple of people are noting, this was the Earth, Wind, and Fire demons because we played on the 21st of September, and demons are in Blades in the Dark. Demons aren't necessarily like we imagine them from D&D or from various forms of kind of lore in our world. Demons are sort of a catch-all for something that's... Are they elementals? Yes. Are they eldritch horrors from beyond time and space? Also yes. There are a whole bunch of different things. And in general, in Doskvol, any threat of a supernatural nature is called a devil. Whether that's a demon, whether that's some kind of a spirit, which is a whole... There's different kinds of those. Even sometimes whispers are called, and witches are called devils by people who don't understand their ken. And honestly, who can blame them? Because whispers can do some scary shit, man. Then again, everybody, all of you scoundrels can do in your own... I mean, like, listen, we were looking at Jessie's art that she's sketching out for some of the characters, and she drew out Bart. I was like, man, I would not want to meet that dude in a dark alley. And this city is nothing but dark alleys. Like, that's what this city is. It's dark alleys and murky canals and surrounded by lightning barriers powered by demon blood. It's, yeah. Yeah, so we've... And then, does anyone else want to refresh us on any cool stuff that they did during their downtime projects, training that they did, new abilities they picked up, anything like that?
Oh, I picked up Analyst, so now I can add more to my project clocks.
You know?
Interesting.
No.
What does Analyst give you?
So during downtime, you get 2 ticks to distribute among any long-term project clocks that involve investigation or learning a new formula or design plan.
Oh, and yeah, you've got your crafting stuff going, so that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be wonderful because as a leech, you're trying to.
Demon repellent is
Yeah.
a go eventually.
Yeah, because Rhodes is trying to invent bug repellent for demons. Like,
Yep.
off.
Oh,
not,
boy.
But it's not done yet, right?
Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm only halfway done.
That's such.
It is a shame.
That's
It's gonna be great.
such a shame. How about Bart? Anything fun going on there to review real quick?
A lot of what Bart's been doing has been maintenance stuff, like heat that he has attracted. He's been trying to like keep down, indulging in his vice, visiting his family because he's got the time to right now. He doesn't really have any highfalutin plans just yet. He's a simple man with simple tastes for now.
A low-lying obsession with demons.
It's fine. It's fine.
No
It's
problems.
fine. Who wouldn't be shooken up after seeing their first demons or whatever?
I mean that,
Like,
and
Smitten
now
even.
you also somebody has a favor to call in to have you come box.
Yeah.
And especially because that person is the person that got caught up in the entanglements last week, and now you really owe her.
Yeah. So I
Step
owe
into the
someone
ring,
a favor
motherfucker.
that I didn't want to owe a favor, and now she might not be the happiest with me, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine. Nothing bad will happen. Last week for us, it's not necessarily a weekend game. Danina joined the crew. How is Davina feeling about this new group of people she's running with?
She doesn't know them very well, so difficult to say. She's new still, but she's trying to make her connections with the smuggling rings and that sort. But other than that, I don't think she's getting her bearings.
All right, very good. So there are a few things we talked offline, or not offline, but off stream rather, about a few different scores, about different opportunities rather that you had. You've heard opportunities about someone who wants to steal an original work of industry. What I mean by that is like a historical artifact. Think like, culturally speaking, the equivalent of like Edison's first light bulb or Eli Whitney's
printing press.
Yeah, exactly, that sort of thing. Exactly. That wasn't to your taste, but you have heard. So in fact, let's do a quick scene where you go visit. What's his name? Amancio, I believe is his name. Yes.
Yes.
Our man of knowledge.
Yeah, your deal broker. And as always, he's dressed in a very nice suit, and he's in sort of effectively an opium den. Right? And I think that this time, however, he's not in like in a couch area. I think instead he's at a table kind of overlooking some performance of some sort. Right? Maybe some dancers or band or whatever. But it's not high. It's very low energy, right? I mean, let's face it. Everybody else around there is kind of zoned out. So this is, stoner rock or whatever. And we're going to cut to you're kind of sitting around. Is anyone, it's okay if you're not, is anyone partaking in any of the vices here while you are visiting Amancio? Just for scene setting.
If there's a pretty lady bartender, I am flirting with her.
Yeah, oh yeah. All the wait staff of all genders are chosen for their attractiveness, and certainly that includes exactly that sort of thing, yes. Amancio's got his hair kind of slicked back, and, he's sitting, and, apparently you have expanded your business in some way, or so I've heard. Isn't that right, Rhodes?
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
That's good. That's good. That will, I think, make it easier for us to do business and for the sorts of friends that I have to do business with you. Cut out the middleman in terms of the payments and so forth. Very good. By the way, I do have a friend who could use your particular brand of assistance.
All right. Who and where?
Hear me out, because he's an inspector. I know, but he's
Presently an inspector. Not an ex-inspector?
Not an ex-inspector, no. He has a particular problem that he needs solved, and he's willing to, well, of course he's willing to pay for it, or else we wouldn't be having this conversation. But he's also willing to overlook the methods that might be required. In fact, I would go so far to say that he's looking for someone with methods that he himself couldn't employ.
All right. And this problem of his?
If you think him being an inspector is tricky, wait till you get a load of this. And he has everybody pause for a moment. He ushers over one of the waitstaff, and they bring him a fresh drink, and he kind of stretches. He has a problem with a Spirit Warden. Not the Spirit Wardens, singular, not plural.
Highly irregular.
Yes, and that's where we make our money now, isn't it? In the highly irregular fashion. Would you like to meet him?
It's at least worth investigating.
Of course, of course. I can arrange a meeting for you. He's already paid me a finder's fee for finding friends like you. You can make your own arrangements with him, but I understand that he is willing to open up the purse strings a bit for this job.
Right.
Like how that sounds.
Indeed. So, we cut to another location. You were invited to, this time to, let's see, where was it? Oh yes, it's to sort of an abandoned old warehouse, sort of in an office there. And the reason is, like, as you're able to see, as you come in, so this street that you're coming on, it's sort of a cramped, narrow street. It is, there are stacked along in front of the buildings all sorts of crates and piles of chains and pipes that are to be deployed someplace or other. But it looks like they've been sitting there long enough that maybe somebody's forgotten about them. It's a very grimy industrial area here. And it's hard to, if you go in one door, it's hard to say which building you actually end up in, because behind the doors they're all connected and so forth. And that's sort of the point, right? Is to be a little bit circumspect in your dealings. No one around here looks like they themselves are up to fine, upstanding activities. And frankly, neither do you, so that's fine. So in the office of this warehouse, there's a man waiting for you in a slim coat, narrow pants, wears a scarf. You can see on his lapel he's got a little pin that indicating his membership in the inspectors. He has the look of a Skovlander about him. Sadly, Eyes isn't here, but that's okay. And that makes sense to you because you know that the inspectors are often drawn from other parts of the Empire, specifically because they don't have ties here in Doskvol. And they are renowned for being the, let's say, least corrupt of the various forms of law enforcement and regulation and so forth. We wouldn't go so far as to say that they're completely clean, which is why he's meeting with you. He has a very sharp jawline, lined face, a bit worn in his skin, and he's kind of got his chin raised a little bit as you come in. And there's an office, and he's sitting behind a desk, but there aren't any other chairs there. This is a very rundown. It's not like it's his desk. It's just a handy desk that he's been sitting at. And he waves to you all, and he says, "I am Stavrul," and he looks at Rhodes. "There is no question that you are Rhodes. You have a very distinct look about you, I was told."
That's fair.
You do.
I mean, tell us again how Rhodes looks.
He's very red, and his hair is fine and fluffy, and it's kind of he's got striking white markings on his face. His hair's got patches of white and reddish brown, and he does not look like, someone you could just overlook. Which is why I kind of question his line of business.
I mean, that's true. Well, I have a proposition for you, but you must understand. This must be treated with the utmost confidentiality, or bad things will happen to you, and bad things will happen to me.
I'm mildly offended that you'd think we wouldn't handle it with the utmost confidentiality.
Your kind are known. He's gesturing here to all of you, not to Rhodes specifically, but to the group, to the crew, for getting the job done, not always with concern for the noise they make. But I must tell you, it is extremely important. What I will ask of you, that it is very quiet. I have been tracking certain devilish activities here in this city for some time. And it has led me down a very dark path.
As it does.
You may be thinking, why have you not turned this to the Spirit Wardens? But this precisely is the problem. The problem is that I have traced this activity to a Spirit Warden. I believe that one of their number has been corrupted by a demon.
That's a pretty hefty accusation.
It is, and therein lies the problem. You see, while I am quite certain of their activity, I have not yet been able to gather the evidence that is required to accuse someone of that stature. Were it whichever Akorosi on the street, it would be different. But here, I must be very careful. I wish for you to help me with this to ensure that we can prove their activities.
Well, consorting with demons is a very grave act that should be punished. Of course we'll help, right?
I am glad that we are thinking the same. Very well. I wish for you to visit his home. We will be carrying out later, presenting a search warrant there. It is of grave importance that we find evidence in his home to be able to arrest him. There may be evidence already there. If there is not, there will be when we arrive. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes, I think we do.
Very well. For this, I am willing to pay significantly. And he gestures to a cabinet behind him, and he opens it up, and there are not one but two large satchels of coins. In game terms, this is approximately 8 coin.
Well, damn.
I will ensure that this reaches you. If, when we serve our warrant, we find what we must find. Do we have a deal?
Rhodes looks to the rest of the party to ensure that we're on the same page here.
Davina gives a nod.
Bard's nodding.
We have a deal.
Very good. He hands you a small slip of paper with a name and an address on it, and he says you have 48 hours. I strongly suggest that you are not present there in 48 hours, or else it would be complicated. I do not wish to have to arrest my new business partners here. That is why I am telling you, please do not be there at that time.
Understood.
Do you have questions for me?
If done well, will this be a project we can... Project's the wrong word. And a relationship that we might continue.
Let us see how well you do. I would not like to need this service again in the future. These are extraordinary circumstances.
Indeed.
But,
It's a city of extraordinary circumstances.
as you say, let us see how this goes. If it does not go well, I fear I may not be in a position to help you in the future either.
Have evidence you would like to supply us with to find? Or would you like us to gather our own?
It may be that there is evidence there. If not, it is important that there is evidence there to demonstrate his connection with demons. How that happens, I leave in your capable hands.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
Very good. And with that, if there are no further questions, he turns and he leaves through a different door than you came in, off into the darkness of the city. The address is in Night Market. It's on the street Iron Court, which you know to be a sort of a closed off cul-de-sac type court area in Night Market. As we previously noted, and as everybody here knows, but also for those watching, Blades in the Dark specifically eschews the type of planning typical in D&D and other role-playing games. You pick a type of plan, right? Effectively. And it kind of abstract out all the planning that we would normally do. So you pick a type of plan from 6 different ones. You provide the detail and choose your load. If you don't have the detail, we do a few gather information checks. One thing that is important to note that I found in the last... I'm always reading this book again. And when you do a job, and you carry out a score on in your hunting grounds, which this is going to count, you get an extra downtime action to do things necessary for this kind of job, right? So it's not that you just get to do whatever is required. Whatever downtime activity you want. When you prepare to execute an operation of your preferred type, this is going to be kind of espionage, on your hunting grounds, you get +1 die to any gather information rolls, and a free additional downtime activity to contribute to that operation. This can help you discover an opportunity that doesn't apply here because I gave you one, acquire an asset you might need for the job, find an appropriate client, etc. This isn't for just any score, but certainly it will apply for this score. So, and you don't have to take it, right? That's only if there's, as part of what you're like, oh, we need an expert in this thing. Okay, somebody's going to do an acquire asset for that. They don't have to use their regular downtime on that. So, are there any... So, the first question is, which type of plan will you be coming up with? Assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport?
Occult?
I was kind of thinking stealth
Yeah.
first to scope out, see if there's any evidence there, and then reconvene if there's not.
I think one thing we want to figure out is how often and for how long this person is not in his house.
Yes.
Get ourselves an idea of like what our window's looking like.
Yeah, survey, stealth, see what's in there.
Yeah, I think that sort of gather information makes sense.
I don't feel like... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't feel like we want to try to break in twice. I think we want to bring evidence and use it if we need it.
That is also true.
Yeah,
Yes,
and this isn't the sort of like plan like we're going to go in, we're going to scout, we're going to do this thing, and like, yeah, I think that we want to abstract that out if necessary. So it sounded like somebody wanted to do some sort of gathering information. And remember, you'll get +1 die when you do these. So what kind of information are you looking to gather?
Comings and goings, I think. Like, could we
Yeah.
prowl
Okay.
stakeout? Stakeout hidden.
Sure. So you want to do a stakeout. Tell me a little bit. Give me a little bit of the fiction of what that looks like. How you're going to be doing that.
So in my imagination, it was find some sort of plausible way where we'd be nearby for us. Maybe this is night market, so maybe we set up like a little fake storefront, selling something no one really needs, but that could at least have that we have.
Go
I
dumpster
miss
diving.
eyes.
Fake watches.
I miss eyes so much. We could be selling like clothes,
Oh,
little
yeah, we could sell
accessories and
eyes.
scarves.
We could sell clothes that Eyes made anyway. They don't need to
True.
be here for that. Well, that makes sense. And then we're just kind of using that to be around so we can watch the comings and goings. I don't know how effective that'll be, given it's a Spirit Warden's house. They like to be very mysterious about who they are.
So let's do a gather information. You're trying to understand the comings and goings. Again, this is a time limited thing, so I'm going to start a clock for that. That's going to sort of represent the time until the raid happens.
Is it a 48 segment clock?
I'm going to make it an 8-segment clock, mostly because the most granular one I already have loaded in Roll20. So we're going to call this Inspector's Raid. Your target is a person named Arquo. And go ahead.
In the meantime, because I don't think all of us would be at the storefront, maybe while half of us are doing that, the other half are looking into evidence and what we could plant. Is
all right.
there any
So let's
connection that I've made?
Could be. So let's do the first gather information. I'm going to. So first of all, what action do you want to take?
So for the first one, I was originally thinking prowl to, do the stealthy, remain unnoticed. But the one we kind of morphed that into feels maybe kind of consort-y? I'm not
I was
quite
thinking
certain.
like survey.
Well, I'm thinking seeing people walk out of their house isn't hard. The hard part is being there without being noticed, but that's my headspace on it.
That's fair. But you said so yourself, he's a Spirit Warden, and seeing his comings or goings is probably a adventure.
That's true. They might take steps to obscure that. So survey makes some sense in that
Okay.
regard. Sir.
I mean, and we're kind of abstracting things out anyway.
Yeah.
So, is this going to be? I guess maybe one of you is helping with this.
Yeah.
Does anybody want? So it's a gather information roll. There's not a position and effect exactly, because it ends up being like on page 37, right? So the real question is anybody, if how many dice are you trying to roll? So you have who's doing it first of all?
Okay.
Who's doing it?
I mean,
No one?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Our usual person that we have do these things is out.
I got one survey.
I got one
I have-
survey.
I have one survey.
Okay, so maybe
I
one
have
person
one
does
prowl.
it. Does one person want to help them? You can take one
I'll
stress
either
and help
do-
somebody.
I'm good either way.
Okay, now in order for this to be at the same time, whoever does this is not going to be doing the research on the evidence.
Okay, so I'm doing that.
I think I'm more useful in that category, to be honest.
Dang it.
Yeah,
So
like,
am I.
stuff,
Oh wait,
like
that does make
stuff.
more sense.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
actually, I'll do.
so who's doing the stakeout?
I think I should do the stakeout because I think Rhodes would be. Yeah,
Davina
I'll do the
and Beryl.
Tall people
does-
just standing around.
Does
Sure.
Davina have a alias code name?
Crow.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and what's Amalia? It's not damp. It's
Echo.
Echo. Yes.
Why would it be damp?
I can't imagine.
Why would it ever be damp?
Rippy.
Hey, damn, how's it going?
Listen, it was all I could do
Oh.
not to use the M word.
Sup, rips?
No. Do not.
You know, I was yeah. Anyway, okay, so in that case, let's do the thing where Davina, if you want to give me a study roll with the extra die from Beryl, who'll take one stress for it, and one extra die for being on your home turf. So a survey roll with 2 extra die.
Oh, a survey roll. I heard study roll. I was
Oh,
like, wait.
I think I did say that
I think
accidentally.
you did say, yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
So this is risky control.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't have one.
That
because
one doesn't matter. Okay.
yeah,
Standard effect,
yeah. I think there's a way you could roll it and not show those, but I don't know exactly.
and then 1 bonus die.
2 bonus dice.
2 bonus die.
You have one from Bart and one from being on your home turf, on your hunting grounds, rather. It is also
Okay,
home turf.
here it goes.
Nice.
A 6.
Very nice.
You get exceptional details. The information is complete, and follow-up questions may expand into related areas or reveal more than you hoped for.
Mission complete.
Fantastic. So,
Also, slight flavoring. We talked about setting up a little shop or whatever and like hawking some goods. I feel like with 2 muscly tall people, instead I'm thinking grifting people into like some like arm wrestling shell game crap. Just sort of like
so the thing is, this house, as I mentioned, is in a closed court area. So there are these metal gates to get in. All the houses are this gray brick. It's a little bit noisy and cramped. So there are people coming and going.
Not to stay though. They're mostly moving.
Yeah, I think that somebody doing arm wrestling stuff on the corner would be very noticed. But I think that you can still, do your surveying there. So you find out, first of all, that Arquo is gone quite a bit. The Spirit Wardens are mostly anonymous in the city to kind of keep them, in theory, from getting too involved in things. And normally when they're on duty, they wear these special bronze masks, like an eyes wide shut kind of mask. Because that mask is what's attuned to when a death happens in the city, and that helps them, and also protects their identity. So clearly he's not wearing his special identity mask when he goes to and from home, because then everybody will know, oh, he's a Spirit Warden. But yeah, you see that when he leaves, he takes a bag with him, indicating that maybe he's about to be gone for some extended period of time, because it's like it got clothes and so forth, like a suitcase. And so you are quite sure that you have a pretty significant window to go in. You have, because you got a great result, you can ask a couple of follow-up questions if either of you have them.
what kind of business does it look like he's going out on, in a general or specific sense?
What's his load?
His
I-
load
Is he
is
up to
heavy.
no good?
His load is heavy, indicating he's probably going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Or to something that's like work, because he's involved in some shady stuff, according to your contact.
I mean, he's involved in some shady stuff, whether or not he actually
Right.
is.
So is it the shady stuff that he's... Well, that's also true. Yes. He's going to be. But I mean, just by the nature of their work, Spirit Wardens are shady.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are doing things right. Any other follow-up questions? Okay, I'm going to put one, sorry. So each of these ticks represents 6 hours. So I'm going to put one tick on that clock. Okay? Let us, during that same tick, go over to Echo and Rhodes and see what you're doing about possible evidence.
I have one more follow-up question.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, it's all good. Thought about it just a second ago. So they wear the masks and stuff, protect their identity. Is his bag distinct in some way? Is there any level of detail that one could theoretically make out to, I mean, to be honest, follow him?
You could follow him. I'm not sure if this is what you were asking. If you didn't already know he was a Spirit Warden, there's no outward indication right as he leaves that he is one. he doesn't seem to be like specially concealing his tracks or whatever. You know, he's getting in a carriage drawn by one of those. So the carriages in the city are goat drawn, but these aren't just any goats. These are specially bred goats. They're all black. They have 6 horns. They're like the Hebridean sheep, except they have an extra pair of horns. And they have 6 eyes.
Ooh.
And that's what draws the carriages here in the city, driven by the cabbies. So he gets in one of those and leaves.
I'm going to try and make some notes on the carriage, whatnot. We'll see if it comes up.
All right. Any other follow-up questions? Any from Davina?
For his home, how many points of entry are there? Is there a second floor?
That's a good question. There is a second floor. There's a main door. There's a couple of windows with curtains drawn. And, of course, there's a few on the back. So you could choose. I would say that for game purposes, you would, for your entry point, you would be able to choose either the main door or a side entrance, depending on how you wanted to go about it.
Okay. I think that's all I got.
Okay. Then, Echo and Rhodes, what would you like to do?
A quick question: did we get a name of our inspector? Employer.
Stavrul.
Stavrul.
Stavrul, yes.
Thank you.
So what is your plan? What is your gather information? Not what is your plan. Is there any information you need to gather? Or is there a downtime activity you need to do to prepare
I was going
for
to
it?
do a downtime, but if you want some information gathered, we can do that instead.
Well, we could always use this as evidence, and she holds up the coral with human fingernails that grow out of it. This is,
The what?
It's like an object I've used before for rituals and stuff, because I commune with, demons. And I'm like, this is demonic evidence.
That is, in fact. Can it be traced back to you since you use it so regularly?
Well, everything leaves tracks in the ghost field, so ideally something less personal.
Yes.
I think it's fair to say, personally, that actually, is there anything in your load, your special load as a whisper, that would fit? I don't know. I'm looking.
The Demon Bane charm, is to ward off demons.
Yeah, I think a Spirit Warden would have one
weak.
of those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weak. I'm not seeing anything else that really screams. Because other stuff is like, spirit mass stuff to deal with spirits. That's their job, spirits. So
Yeah, I don't think you need a role as a whisper, as somebody who already consorts with demons, to figure out what kinds of things you could put. So I think you can just kind of make something up and say would be demonic evidence.
We can do a downtime action to then acquire that thing if we don't already have it.
You could.
Do we need to? I guess. How about this?
I would say you probably got stuff.
If I just make it, or use it for my stuff, it's probably easier to trace it back to me. So why don't we acquire an asset and a goal to have it, not be traceable?
I think that is a perfect acquire asset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good.
There's a thing in the write-up of Night Market that says if you try to acquire an asset in Night Market, you get an extra die, but at the cost of something. I don't remember what that cost is.
Well, it's first of all, we can look. It says you can take plus 1d to acquire an asset here in terms of illicit and arcane goods, but at the cost of 2 stress.
2 stress.
Yes.
So you can kind of push yourself again if you want to.
Yes. So to acquire an asset, you roll your crew's tier. The result will indicate the quality of the asset you get, using the crew's tier as the base. You can spend coin to raise the result of the roll. I'm going to say that it is not highly restricted. It's not going to get you the extra heat. So we would just make a fortune roll with your tier +1, which is good because you are tier 0 at the moment. So that will give
Do I
you
get
1
any
die.
kind of benefit for being weird AF? This being kind of my wheelhouse.
I
don't have
think
anything
I'll give you a die.
concrete,
I'll give you a die for it.
Okay.
I think that's fair. So let's make a fortune roll with 2 die, and that will see the
Alright.
quality of the asset.
Let's do it.
And that's the acquire. That's going to be your acquire asset downtime activity. Extra deep.
I'm
so
excited.
2 dice. Do we? I could be assisted. Is that worth it?
Up to you. I would say, here's what I'll say. I think that the quality level of the item is going to be important in determining whether or not it ends up counting as whether or not it gets accepted as evidence. In other words, if you had a tier 0 result, it probably wouldn't be great.
Alright, so we want...
I'll help if you want.
Yeah, I think that's so... Number of dice, 3...
Remind me how much stress I get for helping?
Just 1.
Just 1.
Alright, submitting
And-
3 for a fortune roll.
And Avmalia gets 2 for the night market.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Notes, boom.
Very
Okay,
good.
fine.
So you get your tier. You get a tier 0 item.
Should have pushed myself too.
You can spend 2 coin to raise it to tier 1.
2 coin? Can we spend rep instead? I can't remember if that's the thing.
No, I don't,
I don't think
we
so.
can.
Yes, I know you can
Do
use
you
rep
have
and
a
coin
coin?
interchangeably for some things.
This
I have
is
2.
Okay, because
you can spend
I
rep to
feel
do
like-
additional activities, but this doesn't count.
That's
for that.
what it is.
we have a coin in the crew that we can use on this. If you spend 1 coin, we can use that one and get more from this job.
Yeah, keep in mind you're going to get 8 coin plus 2 because of your covert drops. So sometimes you got to spend money to make some money.
Yeah. Alright,
Assuming the score succeeds.
Hey,
alright.
we
let's
are
do it.
starting at the bottom.
Listen, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, punch up where we can.
Okay, so you're going to spend 2 coin to make that a tier 1.
Yeah, and I spent the 2 coin off the sheets.
Okay, so describe to me what this demonic item looks like, what it is.
So
That would be evidence that the Spirit Warden is doing the bad things.
I'm thinking it's a rock. And it has this almost light on the inside. Like you can almost see within it, and it's this deep, menacing purple, and it is so purportedly is used to commune with the demon of anguish. Because demons are of primal aspects, but not necessarily physical elemental ones.
Right, and even then, they all, in addition to if they have an elemental affinity, they are also themselves manifestations of dark desires.
Yeah, demons are cool, guys. Commune with demons.
Um,
Come on, kids, try this at home.
now hopefully, because mind you, Rhodes sees this thing and is like staying on the one hand like this far away from it, but like also
But is he?
he's super interested in it. So it's like, self-preservation
Can you hold this?
interest, self-preservation interest.
Can you hold this?
Sure,
I,
sure.
my aura, tune is very active. So yours has less of a chance of rubbing off on it.
Oh. And he'll take it, and then after having taken it, like, just seems fascinated by it, and he goes, "So what's the likelihood of it rubbing off on me?"
Not much.
Sounds legit.
All right. I think we can go to picking a plan now. You have assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. It sounds to me, but this is only me seeing if I understood correctly, that you are talking about a stealth plan.
We have the pieces for either a stealth or occult plan.
I think that sounds correct.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to either trespass unseen or engage a supernatural power. What does that sound more like?
Probably trespass unseen.
Yeah, I think so. So what is your point of infiltration?
Is it
Side
literally just the back door?
Side door.
Side door.
Okay. Is that it? And then we're going to abstract out all the details of the plan. I just want to make sure that y'all all agree that it's just going to be a side door at their house.
I'm not sure if this is abstracted or detailed, but is it possible that one of us should follow and delay him if we need to?
That sounds like a complication you might have to deal with later in there. I don't think we have to.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's something you would end up flashing back to. Assuming it doesn't contradict the fiction.
I'm excited because I have a plan for that if it happens. So
Cool.
don't worry.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think the back entry.
you get
Have a couple people kind of I don't know, where we were hawking our wares, kind of keeping an eye on the place, let some sneaky folk
okay.
make their way
Yeah, we can
in.
have a lookout.
So you get 1 die for sheer luck. Also got advantages and disadvantages. Is the operation particularly bold or daring? I'm going to say yes, because you are literally going to plant evidence of something on somebody whose whole job is to fight against that sort of thing. So I'm going to give you an extra die for that. So here's the thing. In Blades in the Dark, as we talked about before, literally fortune favors the bold is an actual mechanic, because this is a fortune roll, and you get an extra bonus if it's bold. So, yeah. Is it an overly complex operation or contingent on many factors? No. This is actually pretty simple, I think. Does it expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I don't think so. No.
I mean, it sort of hits him where he was weakest because it's in his house, but like, that's not quite.
Yeah, because it would, even if so, is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations?
And they probably do.
Probably.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that's going to kind of wash out, because you're not wrong for it. They do. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Do you want to bring in any of your friends or contacts in on this?
Not necessarily letting them know that we're planting evidence, but I would like to pick my priestly friend's brain about this demon stuff. It'd probably be helpful. No, wait, that's not the same kind of mechanic. Never mind.
Okay.
I also I think this kind of raises the question of who we got the rock from.
Okay. But you did an acquire asset roll for that, I think. So,
That's
and then you
true.
spent coin
I
on it.
That's true.
But that said,
Some schmuck.
any other elements to consider? Why would somebody come to my house at this time? My dog wants to know that he is defending us against these ghosts. My dog is my spirit warden.
Woof.
Bro,
Dogs-
do
dogs-
you have the pet dog or something. Weird.
Actually, doesn't Davina have a pet hound?
Nope.
I have a
It's a
raven.
bird.
Raven, that's
Bird.
right.
I have a bird.
Yes.
Squawk.
I believe we also get a die for doing our specialized thing in our hunting grounds.
That was for the.
We
You got the
already
extra
have
die
that.
for the gather information roll.
But don't you also just
wait.
get an extra to the engagement roll because you do your thing in the thing?
Maybe.
Remember
I thought
this
so.
not being in the
Favored.
checklist.
Let's
Because I
say
believe the hunting ground is for the gather information and the favored job.
that's what it is. You are
Favorite
correct.
job.
Yes. So you're going to get 3 dice total for this. Let's see what happens. Oh, 6. Good result. You're in a controlled position when the action starts. Very good.
Damn Skippy.
Damn Skippy. All right. So we open with the crew assembled by the side door. This is where maybe Davina,
Hello.
you want to talk? Oh yeah. Thank you. I even have a note on that, and I still forgot. Yes, everybody, please pick your load: light, normal, or heavy.
Mine is light, and I would like to remind everyone that we have thief rigging.
So I'm gonna go light as well.
I'm
Yeah,
also light.
Because you get like 2 free load for what is it exactly?
Be freaky.
No, I mean, but what is it?
Tools and gear.
Yeah.
I remember that you have it. I just don't remember the details of it. That's all.
No, the two nouns it lists are tools and gear, as opposed to like armor and weapons.
Yeah, tool or gear items. Okay, yeah. Okay. So is anybody not going light? Because y'all seem to go light a lot, so I just want to kind of default to that unless you tell me otherwise.
I was thinking of doing normal.
Sounds fair.
Does-
I mean,
does
you're
it
the
sound-
one doing the occult stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
I mean-
Davina, why don't you tell us then about you wanted to have some setup at the door. This is where we have that.
Oh, well, I was thinking that where we were hawking our wares before, we could stake that out again and just keep an eye on the place while the other 2 go in and plant the evidence.
Okay, I think that's part of the being in a controlled position. Sure.
Also, to complete the picture, this entire time, Davina has a raven just like chilling on her shoulder. I feel like I
Yeah.
forgot about that too because I don't mention it, but yeah, it's there.
It's not a parrot; it's a raven.
Yes, big black bird.
Oh, and as we're starting the engagement, I'm going to tick us up 1 clock on the time. Yeah. Sorry, 1 tick on time. Okay, so you're at this side door, right? But of course it's locked. You also see who's at the door?
Oh,
Just the
probably
two.
me.
Okay. So Echo and Rhodes. You can faintly see a few Demonbane charms around the door. There's clearly some level of arcane wards here. In other words,
Would those affect this?
don't think you know that
Rock.
yet.
No, sorry, that was directed to Afmalia. Just
Oh, got it. Perhaps I'm going to kind of, look about, reach out, and just poke one of them with my dripping finger.
Don't feel
See if
anything.
they do anything.
Nothing happens.
I'll get us inside, and I reach my hand out for the rock.
there you go.
All right, and I'm going to just she's always damp, but it starts to intensify. She drips a little bit, and then she starts to sink into a puddle in the ground as she liquefies and flows through the cracks in the door.
That's right. I forgot that you had that awesome ability. That's so cool. Is
I'm
that?
hoping.
Is
While
that
I imagine this isn't the first time Rhodes has seen this, it's still spooky every time.
Yeah, watching from like probably 50, 70 feet away, Bart's just sort of like still weird. It's never not weird.
I think that's fair.
So, I don't think I've seen this before. I have not.
Oh yeah, you gotta check this out. No, you gotta watch this.
And it's not just water, by the way. It's the void black water of the void sea.
It's inky stuff.
Yeah,
That
void
like
water.
sparkles with stars that are not
aren't
there
there.
Clearly.
Yeah, Barrel's just gonna like yell. You just be like, "Yo, check this."
So this is the equivalent of your
This.
Tempest
So-
ability.
No. I did the veteran for Ghost Veil from the Lurk. As kind of
Okay,
the
I was trying to
basis
remember where it. I remember us talking about it. I just want to see something real quick. Okay, yeah. So you take 2 stress when you shift. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
And
okay.
I did take 2 stress.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
just do it at
I
will.
just-
That'd be bonkers.
Right. No. I get it. Yes, you should. So this is the equivalent of shifting to the ghost field. Just that when you do it, instead of becoming
not
shadowy,
ghosts.
you become watery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little sprinkler homebrew in our blades in the dark. It's
I
fun.
think that's fair. No, it's good. So when are you reforming on the other side?
Yeah, it only lasts a few moments, so unless I see something that would be like, oh shit, I just kind of...
No, you're in the kitchen. You find yourself in the kitchen.
I will reform, and there's like, just everywhere I went is just wet now. And I reach out and just very briefly survey, not the action, the lock, figure it out, and start to unlock unless it's really complex.
It's a fairly standard lock, and you can open the door. Does only Rhodes come in, or do the other 2 of you still stay outside?
I kind of think we would stay outside.
Yeah, like we're a combination of both not as stealthy and also 2 people can cause more of a distraction if things go pear-shaped. So we're just sort of like looking out right now.
If one of you does want to come in, I forgot to mention it. One of my downtime activities last time was to acquire an asset. We've got a small gang.
We have a gang?
Oh yeah,
for the
fuck-
use of this.
You can use it on 1 score. It doesn't have to be this score, by the way. If you end up not needing it, you have it for additional. But it's not a full cohort either.
No.
So it's not that It's not
They're
that you have a
special.
permanent.
They're R-tier. They're boring. They just they're bodies.
And they're
it's
not
like-
permanent.
No.
So a tier 0 gang is like, what, 2 people?
Basically, you gotta for it being a gang and not an expert, you can maybe get 3 or 4, but not like a full 10 or 12 people either. You know.
Okay.
So if
just
we need
in
to,
case.
if you need to flash back to it, that's where that would be. So you're inside. The kitchen itself is fairly boring, a little bit cramped, right? There's a small ice box. There's an electroplasmic powered oven. Couple of cabinets, and you can see off into the rest of the house. There's a hallway that leads to like a study and a bedroom and a small sitting room. What would you like to do?
Do we want to just stash it in the oven and leave?
I somehow doubt that will be sufficient. And who puts something that important in an oven? Perhaps an ice box, but an oven?
I know some hawkers who are that lowbrow.
To be fair, ovens are fireproof, so if your house burns down,
That's true.
Should probably do as we promised and check for actual, purebred evidence.
To that end, are you able to determine that sort of thing?
I can try to reach out to the ghost field and feel things with a strong presence there, but no, not any more than you could with a little training.
Remember, anyone can
All right,
attune to the
then.
ghost field.
Anyone can be cool if they want to.
I might make the attempt later, but for now, I'm just, gonna walk in and start looking around because it's time to do some investigating.
I'm thinking I'm going to try to head to that study. That feels promising. Shall we split up?
Yep. Oh wait, you mentioned that there is a study visible. Then that's where I'm going to.
Okay.
All right.
That's
We traverse to the study.
So you go to the study, this townhouse. There's a very nice desk there, imported wood. Many leather-bound tomes. Rich mahogany in the walls. Sorry.
What is mahogany?
Is this D&D?
You know, this is the part where it does kind of cross over a little bit. And there are all sorts of small artifacts of an arcane nature. You certainly see another Spirit Warden mask there, this kind of creepy bronze-looking thing that just covers the whole thing and leaves a space for the eyes and a little hole for the mouth. Like I said, it's very eyes wide shut. And other kind of small, there's a, what do you call it? Like one of those, like a sympathy doll, right? That would be used for attuning to different kinds of things. What do you want to do in here?
So first, I'm gonna put like a cloth or something over that mask if I can, because a little bit superstitious, just a little. I don't want that thing looking at me.
All right. And then?
And then I'm going to start looking through the books because we're in a Spirit Warden's house. There's got to be something good in there.
All right. This. Are you doing it to gather information? Is that what you're trying to? Are you, in other words, you trying to study the books, or are you just trying to understand the lay of the land here? So, in other words, are you doing a study or a survey? Is what I'm asking. Or are you doing something else entirely?
I'm doing a study.
Okay.
I'm very much intent on finding out what's in these books and if it might be useful to my side projects and personal interests, because I've become distracted.
Fair.
Because I'm obsessed.
Yeah, so I think so. You are in a controlled position. I'm going to say that the effect here would probably be limited unless you're spending, because you're not going to have a lot of time. So this is controlled unless you're spending a lot of time. So it's controlled limited by default, but you can, it's negotiable.
Unless I am stopped, I'm probably going to spend as much time as I can get away with. So,
to be honest, if you're probably gonna be staring at that thing for about 30 seconds before Malia's like,
ah, dang. Then yeah, limited.
Okay, so controlled limited. Do you want a devil's bargain?
I will always entertain a bargain.
So, you can take an extra die, but in exchange for the extra die, I think that something notices that you are perusing these tomes.
You know what? That totally still plays into this. So yeah, I'll take that bargain.
Excellent. So let me close a few things here.
you can
Got
study.
a 5.
5. So, you hesitate. You can either withdraw and try a different approach, or you can do it with a minor consequence. There could be a minor complication. You could have reduced effect. You suffer lesser harm. You end up in a risky position. So, what I'm going to do is, unless you can either, because you're controlled, you have some control over this. And without having to, quote, resist the consequence. So, either you withdraw, or that clock on something is aware that you are reading these books is going to get an extra tick on the clock.
Tick the clock. Tick
Okay.
the clock.
So this is going to be a 4 o'clock.
Nat.
I'm sorry. I gotta know.
Don't be
Something
sorry.
knows. Roads.
And I mean,
Peaks
out
at
of
the
character,
tones.
if that something happens to be a demon, which will probably go sideways, pear-shaped, and end up with roads turned inside out, but we will
Evidence.
probably be okay. Because evidence.
So,
Lovely.
you're doing this, and you get just those really fine moth hairs as you're looking through this book start to kind of prickle and stand like when the hairs in the back of your neck stand up.
Nah. Mm-mm.
That's what happens with Rhodes. All those moth hairs are like. Anything
Nope.
else you'd like to do in this room?
So while
Oh, I'm sorry. And for the effect, I'm sorry. So you did
Oh.
do that. I'm so sorry. We got to the complication, but not to the reason that you did it. These tomes themselves, in your quick glances, seem to be about the history of Doskvol, about the different methods to destroy spirits. They don't seem to be about demons per se, so much as about the spirits and ghosts and those things here in this room. You are still in a controlled position.
I'm gonna put those books back. 'Cause that's not what I want.
while that reading is happening, can I? We're in the study, right?
Correct.
Can I just close my eyes and try to reach out and to see if there's anything that makes a large blip on the ghost field, so to speak?
Oh, yeah. So that's good. Attune. You're in a controlled position. So I'm going to say that it's a controlled position, and it is. I would say standard, but it's going to be reduced to limited because of the wards in this house.
Can I trade position for effect?
You could, if you want risky standard, you can absolutely do that.
Can I trade position for effect again?
Are you saying that you want to be in a desperate position?
I'm just wondering if I can.
I think you can do it once, but so I think you're at risky standard. But I think it might end up setting you up for something.
Okay. I do think I want standard effect on this because I want to find the thing. I think time is up.
Okay, so risky standard. So,
And
would you like to entertain a devil's bargain?
oh, of course, always entertain.
The devil's bargain is one of the things that I like to do when I think of this isn't improv per se, but it's kind of improv, which is say the obvious, right? Because what's obvious to one person, what you think is, oh, this is the obvious thing, may not be to everybody else. To me, the obvious thing is we get more ticks on that clock that we just set. We get another tick on it, just one, on the something knows that you're in here.
How many segments is that clock? 4?
It's a 4 segment.
All right, I'll do that. Sure.
Okay, so you get an
that
extra.
sounds.
Get an extra die for that.
I'll not push myself then.
Does Rhodes want to assist?
I think this is while Rhodes was reading.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see what you got.
Standard 1 bonus die. Ooh, that's not good.
Risky.
Hey, but now this sets you up for desperation.
Things go
The highest
badly.
die was a 3.
Yeah, things go badly.
Oh,
you suffer
boy.
harm, a complication occurs, you end up in a desperate position where you lose this opportunity. Oh yes. Well, we're going to do the obvious thing, which is we're going to complete that clock.
Thanks, Kyle.
And
It's great.
I feel like our position is risky now.
Do the people outside do we help?
I don't think you
See
know.
how loud it is.
Yeah. I think what happens is so. What does it look like when you attune? First of all, to the ghost field.
So normally I'd like make a black circle of inky water on the ground and wave my thing around and chant, but I don't want to get everything wet because that's like problem. So I'm just taking my fingernail coral and taking it off my neck and kind of using it almost like a dowsing rod.
Oh, that's perfect. That it's like a dowsing rod, because what happens is from behind the wall someplace, you start to hear water, like a water feature, like a fountain starting to pour, or a sink opening up, or something like that.
And for a moment, I question if I'm dreaming again.
It sounds like that, but no, Rhodes, you hear it too, and perhaps you look up or give some other indication that you hear this sound from behind a wall. What do you do?
Well,
Oh, I don't like that.
my dumb ass is gonna go. No, no. But I might though walk over there to where the sound seems to be coming from, cautiously, but like I'm giving it a good listen.
But a good listen. What happens? You put your ear to it, and you definitely hear like a fountain of some sort. But as you're pressing on this, you realize this bookshelf is actually a secret door.
Oh,
Dun, dun.
hooray!
Is it really a hooray, though?
Yes.
What? So I'm going to turn this around a little bit. What specifically is it that helped about this bookshelf that tells you that it's a secret door? How do you notice that?
So it didn't give a little, because as fun as that would be to just be like, oh yes, I just pressed on it and it moved. As I was listening, my little fine moth hairs brushed against something that didn't, like, there was just this slightest hint of like airflow, and it's like, wait a second. Bookshelves don't have airflow.
Right.
And so after some poking around, probably found the switch.
Right. You pull on this little item, and
that item naturally is something vaguely Spirit Warden related. It's this
yeah. I think that it's a black obsidian shard of some sort that's just
So,
sitting
like-
there.
Am I going to cut myself trying to pull?
No. You
Good.
pull it, it opens up, and that's where we're going to take a quick break. Now we're back with new music, because now you have entered a secret room in the home of the Spirit Warden. And as you enter, there's a reason that he doesn't have this in a main part of the house. What you see is, first of all, a tub of water. There's a metal tub, metal and stone, decorated. I say tub is maybe not the right word. It's like a water feature. The thing is, the water is going up without any obvious pump pushing it up. It's just like there's this water, and in the middle of it, it's like if you ever saw the movie The Abyss. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just there. It's not pouring. It's just standing up. And as you come in, a face appears on it.
No. Mm-mm. No.
I just want it to be
Ain't
said that movie terrified me as a child, like straight up, and totally fuels my intense terror about deep water.
Are you okay?
I'm
Are
good.
we okay with this?
I
Okay.
just want you to know that you're pressing the right buttons.
All right.
I looked up on Google the abyss water, and I am already freaked out.
Oh no.
It's one of
Am I
my
about to Google this? I'm terrified.
One of my favorite
Do it.
movies of all
Sharing
time.
my
But imagine
terror.
just a pillar of water, and in the water itself takes the form of a face towards the top.
Yeah, that's real cursed looking.
And suddenly it grins at you.
Oh no. 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 shit.
The difference is this being, the hair. It has hair. It has long hair. The hair tendrils. The hair itself is like made of waters. Maybe it's tentacles. Maybe it's water tentacles. But they're streaming out behind it as if it were underwater itself, just kind of like floating there. Yeah, watercles. There you go.
You're welcome.
And
Sorry.
no, I was just saying, as it's looking at you and it's grinning, and you get this intense sensation in your hearts of death. What do you do?
I would like to pull out a pistol that I definitely brought and just shoot it. And I'd like to flash back that we set up that as a signal.
Okay.
That shit's going bad.
Okay. So,
And I'm not shooting it at the thing. I'm shooting.
Oh,
it in the,
okay.
Some
I would
shots
actually
will
like
draw
to
attention.
find somewhere I could shoot that would, not just leave a giant ass bullet hole.
Shoot it in
But
the
I'm
ground.
not sure that'll be possible.
Yeah, I don't know where you would point this in sort of a secret altar area that's not
Actually,
going
you
to
know
leave a
what?
hole.
Shoot it back into the study. Evidence of weird having gone down.
Can I shoot a book in
Sure.
the study? Alright.
Yeah,
I'll
you shoot
a
into the
book, and
books, and you all hear
I'm
this.
going- My
Bang.
intention then to take that book.
Oh, that's good. That's real good. All right. So, bam.
Oh shit.
So,
It's louder than you
Yeah,
want
we
it to
should
be.
go in there.
Yep. In we go.
all right. So while they're running in there,
Can I send my bird ahead?
yeah, you can send your bird flying on in.
Are you a hound?
I am.
Love hounds.
So the raven goes flying in there. You also, now all of you, the other two of you, as you're running in, you hear this gurgling speech that part of you doesn't understand at all because it's not in Imperial or any other human language, and yet somehow in your mind you can understand the arcane speech of this thing. And it says to you, "You have found me. You will carry out my desires."
What does it desire?
Murder.
Oh god, I'm already holding a gun.
Oh.
You had better not shoot me.
So, Kyle.
Yes. I'm not compelling anybody
I
to
know-
do anything. I want to be clear. This is not a magical
yeah.
compel.
I kind of understood that. But you know what is a magical compelling that is common in Blades in the Dark is that when you are confronted with something supernatural and dangerous, the whole resist or freeze up or run one. Are we doing that?
Oh, yeah, I think that's... No, you're right. I was trying to think about that a minute ago, and I was like, how does that... I was trying to remember if I wasn't mixing it up with another game, frankly. Yeah, I think the two of you in there, I think that... Let's see, what is... Do you remember how that works off the top of your head?
So yeah, either you have to resist with resolve, or you have to freeze up for now, or run away. Those are the options.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that's what should... I absolutely think that's what should happen here.
Sounds good.
So...
I'm gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, the two of you, the others aren't in the room yet. The others, you hear the shot, and you can hear this arcane speech, but it's far off and faint and distant.
Yeah. I think of Malia will freeze in fear, but I think her presentation of that is less fear and more, she's gonna bow.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally get that. Okay. What about, so are either, let's see, did you make rolls?
I have not yet.
Is
You only roll if you resist.
if you resist, or you could choose to let you freeze up Let yourself freeze up or run. I'd even give you that choice.
You know what? I'll go with freeze up too.
Do you want to freeze up or do you want to run?
I'm gonna have to carry both of you out of there, aren't I?
Yeah, probably.
So I think the way it's worded, you freeze up for the moment. So once there's like a new impetus, you're free to book it.
Oh yeah. Here's what it is. Thank you very much, Nat. A close encounter with the spirit or demon is a harrowing experience. By default, the standard effect is to either paralyze a person with fear or panic, or panic them into fleeing from its presence. A PC can choose to freeze up, or flee, or make a resistance roll with resolve to ignore the effect. It also goes on to the effect that we're not using about being possessed by a spirit. Unless somebody chooses to somebody can choose to let themselves possessed, but I'm not going to force it on anybody. So, do you want to freeze up or flee? Which is more interesting to you, Forda?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make that roll. I'm gonna try to resist.
You do resist. It's just a question of how much stress you take. It's a resistance, so you resist with resolve. No, if you say, nope, that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's just a question of how much stress you take in this case. Sometimes, like if you were taking like a level 3 harm, we might just reduce the amount of harm. Okay, you only take 1 stress.
Oh,
you roll a
shit,
5.
nice. Whew.
You take 1 stress.
Scared.
So what does that look like as you resist the supernatural panic from facing an actual factual demon?
So Rhodes asked that question of, that what does it want? And that was kind of a reflex thing. And then it hit him that, like, why? What? No. And he starts to back away at first, and then kind of regains his bearings a little bit more even from that, because, hang on a second. No, if I run, I'm leaving Ovmalia here to face this thing alone. And as the titular Rhodes of this company, that would be bad. Would reflect company. Poorly on our professionalism.
Right.
It'll get the union on our asses, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
So now,
especially when we're going to be unionizing somebody else later.
Now, Bart comes barreling around the corner, preceded by the Raven and followed by Davina. And you pull up short and you see this thing. Because nobody ran out to warn you. So now you need to also decide the same. Do you freeze up, flee, or make a resistance roll?
Yeah. You see Ovmalia on her knees, bowed forth, with her fingernail coral in one hand and a gun in the other.
I want to try to resist.
Okay, no, you do. I mean, yeah. So just you click on resolve.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the resist.
Okay.
No bonus die?
No.
Could I argue that I was on the water a lot and it doesn't scare me?
This is not about the water. This is about the demon.
This is also very different water than you.
Okay,
no.
So Davina takes 3 stress, having rolled a 3, and Beryl takes 1 stress, having rolled a 5.
Shit.
And you how much stress are you at now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Still got a little bit to go.
You got a little bit to go. You're fine. You're fine.
We'll come out soon. Don't worry.
But you see Ovmalia prostrated herself there in front of the demon. What do you do?
Hoist her up.
Kid.
Just bodily, grab. I assume the book's on the floor too, and I'm just gonna assume that's important. I'm gonna grab that, the gun, the finger thing, and the person, and just yeet myself and her.
Yeet thyself.
Yes.
Yeeteth.
Faster than you could possibly imagine, or at least faster than you could move, not faster than you can imagine, that water extends itself around and interposes itself between, like as almost like a worm, sort of, right? It doesn't move; it extends, and interposes itself between you and the door. And it grins and it says, "Break her neck."
Rude.
I'm going to elect not to.
Yeah. There's again. This is not a compel.
Yeah. I'm just gonna, given my limited understanding of demons and my tentative understanding of water, I'm just gonna run through it, through the water, into through the barrel through it. Yeah, it's just get a little wet. It's fine. I'm already wet. She's dripping all over me. It's
okay.
fine.
Is this a physical action that verges on the supernatural?
Possible. I don't know how water works.
Yeah, this isn't just water, so I'm going to say to run through would be like running through imagine if this thing wasn't actually made of water, because this is more than just water, right? It's supernatural. It's possessed water. I think to break through, you're going to probably just not do that. So if you want to be able to do that, you have an ability. That's kind of what I'm trying to get you to trigger. Yes.
To do a feat of strength that borders on the superhuman.
Right. And that ability is what's going to let you make a roll.
Yeah.
So you push yourself. So you take. So when you push yourself, you take stress, don't you?
Yeah. Take the 2 stress.
Okay. So you take 2 stress, and now, what's the roll that you want to make to be like? Nobody else could even make the roll.
Yeah.
Everybody else would just be like smack back on their ass and take some harm.
Like running through a wall.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Wreck the demon.
I feel like since this is, I'm probably going to be behaving like this is a body in front of me. I'm going to be trying to like disrupt it more than I am trying to crash through a wall. So it feels more like the sort of body movements I would use for skirmish, but
I think skirmish feels, I mean, it is what you set, whatever you choose. I think skirmish is the most effective choice here. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
It is the most effective choice here. So I'm going to call that, however, desperate. I'm going to say desperate limited.
okay.
Because this is a demon.
Yeah.
Nat, you want to say something?
I don't like it.
Does him picking me up and giving me a rattle, would it be appropriate to attempt to assist?
If you want to, absolutely. Just tell us how that looks.
Yeah. I think Malia's head snaps up and her eyes are just void black, and she stares into the demon, and just like embodies the power that she communes with, which is so much more than this insignificant supernatural devil. And she just like straight up impacts that upon it to shake the demon's resolve.
Well, before I do, would anyone else like to offer Chase a devil's bargain?
I am very sorely tempted to.
I mean, let's talk about it. What's your devil's bargain? What's your idea?
My idea is that you succeed. You get through this thing.
Well, the devil's bargain gives you an extra die.
If you succeed,
yeah,
it would happen either way. But
right.
In your bid to get through this thing, rather, it still harms you. It's still a demon.
Yeah.
And so, unless anyone has a better idea, like, it essentially whips out and gets hands on you. I don't know what, like, that would look like as a harm, but...
So, yeah, I think that this makes sense that you could take, take a level 1 harm, either physical or mental, but you take the harm no matter what, right, to take the die.
Yeah.
Another devil's bargain that you could also. I think that's a choice on the table that you could take. I think another one is that we put 2 ticks on your clock about being entranced by demons.
Spicy,
I forgot
spicy.
about that.
So that's
How's that clock looking right now?
you're only at 1 out of 6.
Okay.
So you could put 2 ticks on it, or just take a level 1 harm.
Oh, it's a clock. What's the worst that it could do? Throw the ticks on.
Okay. I thought you would have taken the harm, because it's easier to recover from than being entranced by demons. That's my ASMR. Entranced by
Everything is a
demons.
fool.
So to recap, you have +1 die from being assisted. You have +1 for pushing yourself, and you have +1 devil. Wait, no, you can't
No,
devil's bargain and push
The,
yourself.
the pushing
push
himself just lets
does-
him make the attempt at all. It doesn't give him the die.
The
The ability does specify.
Yeah, the ability does clarify that pushing yourself does give you the bonus die and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in that case, you don't need a devil's bargain. Okay.
Darn.
It's gonna
It's okay.
set.
I'll mess around with plenty of demons.
I'll set that clock back. Well, it could be a consequence. So instead of it being the devil's bargain, that could be, depending on what you roll, could potentially be one of the consequences here.
Did you want to use either of those dice to up for effect to get standard effect instead
I
of
think so.
limited?
Like, I've got 2 in skirmish. I think 3 dice should be good enough. I want to move it up to standard.
Okay. All right. So it's desperate standard with 1 extra die. Oh, he got a 6.
Oh,
Harold beats him again.
Boom!
He got a 6. You do it. You push through this thing. Something about, Avmalia staring down a demon as you're just like full backing your way. You just push through, right? Jerome Bettis through the thing. And Davina and Rhodes are still in the room with it, but you're now out in the study. Davina and Rhodes, what do you do?
Well, I think
I-
it's time for a gadget.
Ooh.
am I scared then?
No, you resisted when you took that resist, that automatically succeeds. It was just a matter of how much stress you took. I mean, I'm sure you're scared,
Okay.
right? But not mechanically frozen up. I
Gotcha.
don't doubt that Davina's like, oh shit, that's a real demon. But I mean, she maintains control of her faculties.
Okay.
So Rhodes, you said you had a gadget that you wanted to use?
I was about to say, no, I've changed my mind. I have
That's
demolition
okay.
tools, but, like, we need some subtlety to maintain here.
Also,
So,
this counts as evidence, and I feel like hacking it up's not where we want to be.
No. My thought for that was, I have demolition tools, I can find an alternate exit, but it'll just block that exit. So instead, I'm going to make use of a gadget, and said gadget is supposed to repel demons to a point. It's a prototype of things I've been working on.
Which one is that? Oh, so that's the okay, yeah. Which one in particular are you thinking about?
Which what?
So you have your gadgets. You have,
I don't have any gadgets listed. It only shows me my alchemicals.
oh, okay, yeah. So you also have bandoliers full of those sorts of things. Is there anything in particular that you're looking at?
I guess I'm gonna say Quicksilver because it, mechanically it's not
Quicksilver-
stated what it does.
No,
I
yeah,
know
no.
it's Mercury.
No, Quicksilver opens it gives you a bonus to attune, but at the cost of level 2 harm zoned out. It opens your mind to the ghost field. Any drugs here that there's fire oil. There's different kinds of bombs. Different kinds of poisons.
But those, to me, strike me as more like grenade-type things.
Yeah, these are all, yeah.
Demolition stuff.
Yeah, I think that, it says for gadgets that you would create gadgets during downtime by tinkering with tools and materials.
Okay. I have been doing that wrong then, and I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's different than bandoliers. Bandolier is different. You do have different kinds of these are fine wrecking tools. Mm-hmm. So these are specialized for sabotage and destruction, like a small, powerful drill or vials of acid. Yeah, I think those are like when you can kind of sit down and try to do some sabotage.
But I don't have that kind of time.
Right. So what do you do?
I do have sorry, I'm not very good at talking today. I have access to arcane implements. So is there any way I can leverage that to make an opening, I guess, for Davina to get out?
When you say arcane implements,
it's just listed as one of the load.
That is here. Let's see what it says about these.
It says a vial of quicksilver, a pouch of black salt, a spirit anchor in the form of a small stone, a spirit bottle, a vial of ectoplasm designed to break and splatter on impact.
So tell me what is it? So you're trying to use one of these arcane implements. So what is it you're trying to do? Like banish the demon somehow, or at least disrupt it a little bit? Maybe is that what you're trying to do?
More to give us disruption less than banishment, because if it's banished, there's no proof it was here.
I think if you mark a load for your arcane implements, and that will, I think, let you, much like the push yourself piece of it, lets you kind of make some kind of a roll to get past it by spending that load, as it were.
Is there any way I can assist with this? Because I don't think my whole class is shooty, point and shoot.
So
I don't want.
It depends. Let's see what he's doing first, because what action are you planning to take using these arcane implements, Rhodes?
So I was gonna try either wreck or finesse, but wreck I guess wouldn't really apply here.
I think actually wreck. I will tell you this: you can choose whatever action you want. I think that wreck will have greater effect than finesse will. Finesse is like pickpocketing somebody so they don't notice. Wrecking is like it says.
Because if I wreck, I'm gonna try and see if I can't do some damage to that pool that it's sitting in. It
says create distractions in chaos. So I think that sounds like what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So I think, but that would have a greater effect than just subtly dropping in something into the water. So we're gonna call this desperate, still desperate limited. With a wreck, and the hound wants to help somehow. Davina, how do you do that? Tell me what that looks like in the fiction.
That's a good question. Maybe. I think I don't know.
Covering fire?
The what?
Covering fire?
Covering fire?
Shoot the demon to distract it / aid in the breakthrough.
Yeah, you just have to. It's not. Just give us the description. It's not that you don't have to make a roll for it. You're just going to take stress to do it.
Oh, okay.
It narratively makes sense.
Yeah. What? Just narrate. Just narrate how you assist. That's exactly right, Nat.
I'll send Burden to flap around the thing, and I hack and slash, I guess. I have a couple blades. Exactly what Nat's doing.
Are you saying you're instructing your familiar to take the help action?
Yes.
That's all I heard.
That's what I got out of it. Okay, so so maybe you're dropping. Maybe then Rhodes is using the black salt into the water, right, to kind of disrupt this thing. So you can mark that use and then make your wreck with 1 extra die. Does anyone else want to suggest the Devil's Bargain?
The Ford is always like, yes, hit me.
I know. I knew that Horda would be interested in one, so I wanted to see if anybody... But any player could come up with the Devil's Bargain.
All right, so it's just, it's a little form. I'm gonna talk and think a little at the same time. The concept is that these demons request, there's something to kill something, like lodges a little bit in your psyche and will resurface at some point later.
I think that fits really nicely into some of the traumas that I have been collecting.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to build on that a little bit.
Sure, that was pretty vague.
No, it's fair. And I want to also be respectful of the player's agency. And I know you are as well. That's why I'm just kind of thinking, how do we formalize this?
Yeah.
I think that what happens is the next time that you do violence to a person, you will either need to kill them or at that time you will take mental harm.
Sounds good, yeah.
Like you'll have the choice. It'll just be a harm if you don't. Is that fair? Are you good with that?
I do like that a lot.
So do you want that?
Write that down.
So do you want that Devil's Bargain? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay, so that comes to 2 extra dice.
And we said this was Desperate Limited.
I want to trade one of those dice for standard effect.
Okay.
So we're going for it. Give me a moment. No. Come on. There we go.
A 4. You do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. You have reduced effect. Well.
Also, mark any XP.
I did.
Oh, thank you for remembering that. Yeah, so okay. All right. No, this is straightforward. You're going to take 2 harm as you go through of it's the equivalent of you're going to have significant water in your lungs because this thing was trying to force itself into you. It's not just water that easily parts. And so you're going to take 2 harm. I want to remind you, because we're new at this, if you have the stress, you could choose to, or you can spend. Do you have a special armor?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, well, I do have access to an armor, but I don't know if it's special.
There's 3. Yeah, it'll tell you. Having access to a special armor is a thing that you would have, something that specifically grants it to you.
Yeah,
certain
like
kinds
the
of things.
warded ability of the Whispers may expend your special armor as a supernatural consequence.
Yeah, if you don't have any special abilities that use it, you
then
can't
no.
use it. Okay. No. So I think that if you had some, I don't think any kind of like you could use armor, right, to reduce the harm by 1, but I don't think that there's a particular kind of armor that helps against this, unless it's something kind of arcanish. So you tell me, would you have your regular armor be able to help against this sort of thing?
No, probably not. And I'm not sure I want to resist that because it's very, very appropriate.
Okay, so you'll take 2 harm for water in the lungs or near drowning, something like that.
I put it down as half drowned.
There you go. And you push through. But now you've got a friend on the other side, Davina, this thing, it's swirling
Wait,
around
wait.
you.
I was doing that specifically to give Davina the opening.
Oh, okay. I thought you didn't go.
Remember, that was to disrupt the demon, was the goal.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay, so the demon, that's right.
Still in there now.
I think that now, that's right. You're okay.
How
Thank you for
much stress
clarifying.
did I take for the assist?
One.
One.
Sorry.
Okay.
Always one for assisting. Yeah, I think that the demon now has turned into just like a curtain of water that you could run through.
Grab my bird and run through.
Okay.
Tuck her into my coat to keep her dry.
Now, can I take advantage of that as well, or no?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
And I wound up half drowned from it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If Rhodes is like struggling, I'll grab him too. I'm pretty muscly. Just whoop.
You're in the study.
Shut the bookshelf.
What was the bookshelf?
Shut the bookshelf.
Shut the bookshelf. I think that this thing, it's been disrupted enough for you to come through, but it's so fast and so strong that you're going to have to make some kind of an action roll to stop to be able to do that. So what do you think that would be?
I
have an idea, but it's your choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure because it doesn't really fit my idea of what many of the roles are.
I think it's skirmish because
I'm happy to hear that.
Because it says hold a position.
Oh, yeah, totally skirmish.
Right.
So
skirmish is a broader skill than I thought it was.
Yeah, skirmish is super broad. Well, actually, all the skills are super broad.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think Prowl could do that, because Prowl has a lot of athleticism built into it.
Prowl is, unseen, traversing obstacles, ambushing with close violence. I think it would narrate differently, but you could do it. You could use any... Now, some actions would just have zero effect, right? If you tried to, I don't know...
Command the bookshelf.
Yeah. Or the demon. Like, if you tried to just... well, most of you would probably not be able to consort with the demon or sway the demon. One of you might be able to.
I'm going to suggest against consorting and swaying demons.
It's funny, before it was like skirmish close the thing, I was like, can I try to attune with the demon to try to get it to slow down? But then you had a good idea, so I didn't say anything.
I'm going to be honest, physically going through the demon feels less bold than attuning with it.
Of course, but it is my MO.
That's true.
Fair.
All right, so we're still gonna, because demons are so strong that I think by default it's just desperate.
Yes.
But I think it'll be standard. If you can block it off, you do it, right?
Are you trying to close the bookcase?
Yes.
Is that what we're going with? Could I try to help give some extra muscle?
Oh yeah, that's.
I would love that.
Can we make this a group action?
Do you want to make it a
the
group
whole
action?
team piles.
I think that's.
Pushing it close.
It feels flavorful.
I think that's right. Yeah. Who's got the stress?
Although,
free.
can
go
I?
here?
I have 2 stress
In
left.
I have 3 left.
I don't mind taking one for the team.
What,
Really-
Nat's got a question. What's that question?
So, I'm thinking about bowing out of the group check and trying to find a place to hide this rock, because I have a sneaking suspicion that this demon is going to tell the Spirit Warden that we were here, and that'll foil the whole thing.
Out.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe I'll want a backup plan of this rock hidden somewhere.
Smart.
Yes, smart. And that also reduces the chance that... Davina, how much stress do you have available? 2? 2 stress and you're going to trauma out. So 3 stress. So y'all just... I mean, it's totally your choice. But I'm just saying...
I'm the large one. We're doing a physical thing. It narratively makes sense that I'm leading it. And, hey, Bard hasn't traumatized out yet. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Neither have
sit
I,
here
so just induct me into
quietly.
the group officially.
So...
Trying to sit here quiet with my 4 stress available going.
But also, how's your skirmish stat? You adding...
I got one.
Ooh, look at you.
I gotta be
I
prepared
don't.
for that drown somebody while I fight them move.
Yeah. So yeah, group action with
2 people.
Rose to be
So
myself.
everybody... So...
3 people.
3 people. That means everybody rolls it. So do we decide? And I didn't know where it landed. It's your choice as a group. My recommendation is for Bart to do it to reduce the chance that somebody's out. But if y'all decide Davina wants to do it, then it's whoever. It's really just whoever can take the stress.
I'm pretty willing to take it.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch the tiefling by the tail if it
Bart.
Yeah, so Bart, so everybody, so not everybody, the 3 of you, minus Echo, roll skirmish, and you also, it's desperate. Everybody, that means all 3 of you get to mark an XP in that track. By the way, all 3 of you.
Oh yeah.
Standard effect.
Yeah, sure.
And no bonus die?
Not unless you want one.
You can push yourself to give yourself a bonus
You could
die,
take-
but you only have 2 stress.
Against it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I suggest against that.
You're fine.
Just roll it.
Nice.
Okay, so your highest
Only
is a
one
5.
failure.
1 stress. All right. You get a 5, so you do it. There's a consequence. You suffer severe harm. A serious complication occurs. You have
wait.
reduced effect.
Do
Oh,
I take stress?
you do not.
I
Nope.
take stress because I was leading the action.
That's how the group action works. Yep.
Gotcha.
And
Only the
to
leader
catch
gets
you up,
stressed.
specifically Cole, because you weren't here when we made the decision, we have an ability called synchronized. So if 2 of us had rolled 6s, it would have counted as a crit.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
stability.
Like group actions in this party.
Yeah.
We just like it when everyone's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do on this as the action is now I'm going to put 2 ticks on Barrel's clock
Oh boy.
Both fair and valid.
for Barrel being entranced by demons, and because there's things that I know about the other demons that you dealt with that you haven't discovered yet, but you will. And this demon, while not one of those 3, its dark desire is murder, and you can hear its voice pounding in your mind like the pounding of the surf, and it's just kill, murder, death, and you're pushing it out of your mind, but some little piece of it is lodging in there somehow.
Also,
Yes.
we can talk about this in the group chat later. There's some internalized stuff with Bart and violence, and yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Excellent.
But otherwise, you push this thing closed.
While that's happening,
Yes.
could I don my fine spirit mask and attempt to perceive the auras of where the Spirit Warden tends to traverse this study to find some place they don't go very often to hide this rock?
Oh.
Because that's what the spirit mask does, lets you like see the auras and the stuff.
You see supernatural energies in great detail. What does your spirit mask look like, by the way? What makes it strange and disturbing to see?
That's an important question.
Teeth.
See, I think besides the fact that it's affixed to her face when she wears it, it does not present itself very much like a mask, more like a maw, circular,
Like a lamprey?
jagged, kind of, yeah, circular, jagged, hungry.
Yeah, like a lamprey mouth. This definitely sounds like a lamprey mouth. Oh, I dig it. Yeah, so I think...
There doesn't seem to be any holes for the eyes, but weird is the norm with Avi.
Oh, yeah, no, this is perfect. It's like the Mira Luca. So, yeah, I think there's a small box there. This kind of off-white carved box up on one of the shelves. That would be about the right size and shape.
Cool.
No, but I'm going to say that as you go over there, you see supernatural energies in great detail, and you said that you were trying to see where they typically traverse, right? But you feel
Find a dead spot.
tendrils of dead spot, as it were. You feel tendrils of ghost energy leaking out from some of these artifacts, trying to grasp you and hold you and restrain you. What do you do?
This Spirit Warden murdered a lot of people here for the demon.
Yeah, that clears.
What do you do?
Is this an effect to resist, or this?
I'm signaling a threat to you to see what you do.
Okay.
I haven't made a move yet, as it were.
Yeah. I will try to do it quickly, while being moderately bothered by the realization of the scenario.
So I think to do that, yeah, that would be an action to place it in there.
So can I, is this box? Is it like on a shelf or something? Alright, so can I like prowl to, jump up and get it in there? Nice and quick? Traverse,
prowl unseen and traverse obstacles. Ambush with close violence. You can. Well, I mean, so first of all, yes, the answer is always sure. You can do that action. Yeah. I'm going to say.
What's your opinion of that concept?
Mine is that's going to be a limited effect.
Okay, so the conceit here is doing it quickly, so that whatever's happening doesn't have much chance to take hold.
Yeah, that feels like. I'll tell you. I'll put it like this: if you do prowl, you'll have limited effect. If you do finesse, you'll have standard effect, and of course, you can do all. Then you have the dials that you can turn there. I will also tell you that you are in a risky position, not desperate or risky.
Okay.
Because the door was not closed, it would be desperate.
That makes sense. I'm just sitting here and like. The entire time I've been playing, I've been like, prowl makes sense for that, and I just feel like, did I read a different section on prowl than everyone else?
Or maybe I did. I mean, it's totally fair. Like, I am not saying I am the arbiter of all knowledge. Yeah. That's why I'm always like, what do you think?
It's something I keep hitting against. I'm like, I think prowl makes sense for that, and everyone's like...
It's because it says you traverse skillfully, and to me, prowl is about being quiet when you do it. Versus...
See, I don't see that as a requirement for it.
No.
I see that as an aspect.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I think that in this case, I think prowl can make sense because part of what you're trying to do is avoid those ghost hands reaching up from the floor. So I think prowl can substitute. Yeah, so let's go risky standard.
All right.
But understanding that the potential complication is something with these ghost hands.
Yeah, that feels about right. Yeah, let's do this. Prowl.
You're gonna push yourself. Anybody gonna? They can't help because they're busy.
They're busy. Yeah,
would you like a devil's bargain?
I mean, I'll always entertain a devil's bargain.
Okay, good.
This.
I
have a devil's bargain.
Yeah. One extra die, but you have a clock right now called Echoes.
Oh yeah.
I'll put 2 ticks on that clock.
Can you remind me where that clock is at this moment in time?
It's out of 3 out of 6.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Momentaries, no cowards.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how that saying goes.
I commune with unknowable demons. What are some ghost hands gonna do?
All right, let's get that risky standard with 1 bonus die.
Oop.
That's a 6.
Nice.
Stone cold.
You do it. You just step around these spectral grasping hands. But something about them reminds you of the hands of drowning sailors reaching up for salvation unsuccessfully in the void sea.
All the better to feed the Leviathans.
And that is where you get your 2 ticks on Echoes. All right. Do you want to do anything else, or do you want to exfiltrate from this location?
Oh, I now glance at the door and go, it's a water creature. That's not gonna... oh, whatever. And then let's get the hell out.
I think we need to go. We need to leave.
Make sure to lock the door on the way out. Like, this demon's gonna point it out, but the more time we can buy, the better.
I have a question, which is, just for studying this fiction, there was a book that got shot.
They
I
all
picked
grabbed
that
it
up
on the
because
way.
there's a good chance that Avmalia dropped it when she went prostrate.
So
I feel like they'll already know that someone was here.
the question is, where is the book? Did you leave it in the room? Did you bring it with you, which I think would be a flashback? Or...
No, he mentioned grabbing it with...
I mentioned it as I was picking up Avmalia.
Okay.
Her, the gun, coal thing, and the book.
Great.
Yeah.
So now the question is, are you bringing the book with you as you leave, or are you leaving it here?
As long as it's on the shelf, it doesn't necessarily look like it's been shot, right?
Yeah, I think you were shot into the cover, not the spine, so...
Okay.
But it's up to you. It's totally up to you if you want to... Are you taking anything else from the house?
Oh, I ain't touching none of this shit.
Avmalia, and Rhodes, are you taking anything
taking
from the house?
I don't think I've said I grabbed anything.
Other than that book, no. I'm basically just saying, as you're leaving, it's totally your choice. Do you wish to take anything with you as you leave?
Devil, tempt me. Do I see anything worth taking?
I mean, I've described all sorts of creepy books and objects to you.
Unless there's literally a sack of money on a table.
No, nothing like
on the
that.
kitchen table, there's mysteriously 4 coins.
I mean, you could grab something and try to sell it later. That's a thing you could do, but...
I don't know what any of this stuff is, and I'm too dumb to sell it. Mm-mm.
And at this point, I'd just rather not have it be traced back to us. Whatever.
Not worth the risk. Let's go.
Yeah.
Out the door. I start ushering everyone out the door.
Echo, are you sure you don't want to steal anything?
I'm sure.
Okay.
Tempted.
It'd probably be useful, or it could be worth a lot of coin to the right buyer. You don't have to.
Yeah. We
can probably come back later.
There's gonna be just like a ward that goes off and an alarm goes off. So
I just imagine Avmalia literally taking a and Rhodes both, like as the other two are leaving,
3 steps or
like
so, just
looking
kinda...
around, like but I could, and that's what I'm just trying to emulate. Your choice is your choice. Okay.
I think in her mind she's also like, I can sneak back in here. That door was child's play.
It's night market. We can get in here if we want to.
So, you exfiltrate successfully. How do you lock the door behind you?
I was hoping you would.
Can Avi do that again?
I can, but it's stressful.
Oh! I got an idea.
You got an idea.
So, I've got tools for tinkering and wrecking. I imagine there's at least one stiff wire in there.
Okay.
I can bend the shit out of that.
All right, that's going to be a tinker. That is definitely, however, going to be risky standard.
Sounds good to me.
Does anybody want to help, or would you like a devil's bargain?
I will entertain the bargain, but
I think that the devil's bargain is that you get the extra die. But I think that you leave some kind of a mark and take one heat for it.
no.
Okay, just one.
No. We're going to generate enough heat. We had a loud bang.
I actually think that right now, and this is part of the request for this job, right now you don't have a lot of heat. So that's good.
That's good.
The only loud thing that happened was one gunshot.
Bang.
And one loud noise does not draw attention. It's the second.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that... Yeah, I think we didn't zoom in on that, and I think that I agree with that assessment. So, right, okay. In that case, let's get a risky standard tinker roll.
All right. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing.
Do it.
See?
Do it.
Standard. I'm gonna push myself a little.
Okay, 5.
I'm glad I did.
You do it, there's a consequence, you suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have reduced effect, you end up in a desperate... Okay, that's just simple. Is that while you're doing it, you see a blue coat on the street stop and see the 4 of you, and they see you doing the thing like, hey, is that your house? What's going on here?
Just locking
Fixing
up.
the lock.
Wait, I have an idea. No, God, what's your character's name?
Rhodes.
Fuck.
Rhodes.
Rhodes, is it locked yet? Is it unlocked?
Oh, it's locked. It's locked.
Yeah, they did it. The complication is that a cop sees you.
Yeah, so I was going the idea is catch them midway and go, offer the blue coat to search the house.
True. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it myself, but
I gotta tell you, blue coats and inspectors don't get along that well.
I'm
This is an
not
inspector,
going to
this is
offer
an
him.
anonymous spirit warden.
No, but that's my point is that you're telling a blue coat to come search the house.
No, I would not do that for that reason.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah,
But
I mean, you
have
do
a
what you
lot
want
of
to do.
tinkering tools, and I'm
I
sure
mean, my
I
head
have
was actually he'd just
locksmithing
end up
things.
dead by the demon.
That's not impossible.
So I'm
Do it.
gonna try and bluff my way through this, and
Okay.
say that I was hired to fix the lock. Lock's fixed.
Okay. I'm going to say that at the moment then... Well, so first of all, what action are you trying to take? That's if
I'm
you're
not
trying to
really
bluff,
sure.
that's... Bluff is sway. So what you're telling me is you want to use sway.
This is gonna be fun.
I'm going to call this... Risky... No, you know what? I'm going to call it desperate standard. It could go... In other words, again, position is how bad could things go. It could go really bad if you're telling them you were hired to fix the lock. The effect is how well things could go. You could just do it. I don't think it's a great effect. They're not going to come up and let me help you with that. But that's why I think it's desperate standard.
Okay.
I would
Can
like
I get
to
some
assist.
help on this? Yes.
I'm gonna kind of sort
any
of
dice and sway.
fast talk with you, just add little bits over top, just because we're your friends. We obviously don't work with you. You don't hire more than one locksmith. We're waiting for you to finish up this last job because we really want to get a drink. Do you want to get a drink too, man? Like, you look super busy. Are you busy right now, Mr. Copman?
I love this. Are you busy right now? You want to get a drink? Devil's bargain offer. You take an extra die, but again, you take one heat because he makes a report of it later.
You know what? Yeah, I'll take that devil's bargain.
Okay, so one heat.
Give myself 2 dice.
One heat, slightly less risky than failure on a roll interacting with cops.
All right. And don't forget to mark your XP for... Oh.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Now we have to kill him.
It's the worst outcome. A serious complication occurs.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You can... I want to point out, this is where resist also applies. So here's going to be the consequence. The consequence is that he is going to not believe you. Well, by default, he doesn't believe you, right? Because it doesn't work. Yep. So the serious complication is that he's going to call for backup, and he's going to blow on his whistle, and there's going to be just a whole mess of cops here. You could choose to resist that down to another heat, but you'll have to do a resistance roll to do that.
And so
to me, this is way more than heat.
Yeah.
You can take harm and stuff for your allies in this game. Could I try to step in and then I would make the resistance roll to do that?
I think
that would be
also
appreciated.
It's also I have a little more stress to play with.
I was thinking about that.
Literally one to play with.
I forget how exactly protecting works.
So I know you can do it with harm. I don't know if you can do it with general content.
I'm going to say in this case, I'm not going to look it up. I want to say that in this case, it makes sense because you are suffering the harm as a group. Because the harm isn't going to be he arrests... The consequence isn't going to be he arrests Rhodes. The consequence is going to be they arrest you all. And the hate applies to you as a crew. So I think that's fair.
So the way I want to try to do this is I want to, let's put it this way, attune to his lungs until he's unconscious.
Well, okay, so That's an action roll, not a resistance roll.
Well, I'm thinking
that would be I would
adjudication, because it's still avoiding the consequence, but it's
so that's kind of there's not really a hybrid resistance action. I think the resist is just you talking through it, maybe, because this is still because it's part of the sway roll. So I'm going to say you just talk him out of it. He's still going to make a report, like with your specific descriptions. If you want to drown a policeman, that's going to be
after the resistance.
You could still do that. I think you should think carefully about the potential consequences of that happening.
As a reminder that any amount of bodies is heat because of how dying things work.
People fall unconscious before they drown.
In the middle of the street.
Where is thaumaturgy when I need it?
And I suppose if he does begin to drown, I can tinker with him to bring him back.
Oh no.
I think that if he starts to drown,
that's what a physicker is for.
I think if you just do just the resistance roll, you'll just take the heat, one extra heat, and that'll be it.
All right, let's do that. All right. I have.
Can I distract him with my bird?
This isn't an action roll. It's just a resistance roll.
So,
okay.
I don't know what category this would be, insight, prowess, or resolve, but they're all the same. So
probably resolve.
Yeah, it's resolve. Yeah. Definitely.
Why? I have a rules question. Why does that seem so obvious to other people and not me?
What?
Because it comes from a sway roll.
Resolve resist rolls at this point, which is why
I wasn't under the impression that the action that caused it necessarily.
No, not necessarily. I think in this case it's a social consequence, right? It's not. So.
This is mental strain or willpower for resolve.
Yeah, because I don't know about you. It would stress me the hell out.
Consequences from deception or understanding.
Oh,
well, in that case, then go for that.
The reason it seemed obvious to me is because I didn't read that part, and it's just sort of an aggregate of the skills.
Well, exactly what Chase just said.
Okay.
In other words, this isn't that something is obvious to us and not to you. It's the other way around. You knew something that we didn't, and that's totally fine.
I was murky on it, and I was like, wait, it makes me think that you knew something I didn't.
I'm in the same boat as you, because I don't really remember half of what these things are. I read the rules. And
this is a big book, right? There's a lot going on there, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, once again, all the numbers are the same. Let's do this. No bonus dice.
One stress. You got rolled a 5.
Very nice.
Fantastic.
Is every single one of us like 1 or 2 stress from traumaing out?
I have 3.
Ooh, look at you, so fancy.
That's what this game is.
I could liquefy
right?
one time.
This game is basically it is a bunch of things. One of the things that it is stress management. Yes. All right, you escape. As an epilogue to this, a day and a half later, the inspectors do raid the home. They find both your item and and of course the actual demon there, and or at least incidents. No, they don't find the demon. They find indications there in that back room because you probably passed on word about that. They find it. Yeah, they are happy. I will say that because you did the extra thing with the item, you are going to get a bonus for that. We'll see exactly what that looks like in a minute. Let's do payoff.
This is my favorite part.
First of all, 2 rep per score by default. The target of the score was not the Spirit Wardens, it was a Spirit Warden. So we're going to say that you get +1, but they were also a Spirit Warden. So I'm going to treat them as tier 1, so you're going to get 1 extra rep for that. I think you're going to get 2 things for doing that extra, spending those 2 coins to get the extra item. You're going to get an additional rep. So if you hadn't found the demon, then this would have been just even, right? But you did find the demon. So +1 rep for that. So it's a total of 4 rep. And you're going to get a faction bonus with the inspectors.
Ooh.
Nice.
So having them on your side doesn't suck. So you're going to get 4 rep from that. You normally would get 8 coin because this engages your covert drops, you get 10 coin to split up as you wish. As to note, currently the crew has 0 coin and 0 vaults in the vaults. So y'all decide how you want to split it up, but you've got 10 coin.
I mean, there's 5 shares. 1 is the crew, and then each of us get 1 share as well.
So 2 coin to
That'd be
each of
2.
you and 2 coin to the crew?
Yeah.
Good to me.
Is that what you want to do?
Into that.
Sure.
Okay.
Now net 1 coin from this operation.
Net 1 in the vault. Every single one of our pockets is a little heavier.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Don't hate it.
Yeah, the thing is, coin in your stash later on helps you with other things, like lifestyles, roles, and things like that. All right.
Once a kid through college.
Right. Let's see. Heat. So you already got your 2 heat. I'm not adding to... that doesn't count in this because you already got it. Otherwise, it's 0 heat. Other than the cop on the outside that you did talk him down. He made a report, but we already counted that. So this is going to be no additional heat from those things. As a reminder to everybody, you currently are at wanted level 1.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the only
What
you
did
can
do while I was gone.
Oh,
Yeah, the last
yeah. The
She
last
left
school
the
was
body. It
very
was hilarious.
messy.
yeah, that's right.
So very messy. People were
Negotiations
threatened.
involved.
There was talk of skinning people. It was a mess.
Not just skinning people, but wearing their skin as a coat.
Well, yeah. Why else would you skin them?
Right.
Eyes.
Eyes was involved, but so was Rhodes. It was a mess. It's complicated.
Then it
Because
says,
the person has to skin the
add-
person, the other person has to stitch it up, and
I missed something on the heat. It says add +1 heat for a high profile or well connected target. So your base heat is 0, but you'll get 1 heat for this being a well connected target. Because he's got friends in the Spirit Wardens.
My understanding is that 0 heat clause is like worded before the whole process. Like it's like you skip this entire step if there was just no one who saw anything.
I don't think it says that there.
Like I said, that's my conception of
Yeah.
that. But whatever.
I think, yeah, it's only heat.
Yeah, it's 1 heat.
Except
Whatever wanted level.
That-
That's the bigger problem, right?
and your heat is still within 0 to 3. So for your wanted level is 1. I was doing your entanglement rolls incorrectly earlier, but now we have it. So your entanglement is going to be with 1 die because that is your wanted level. And that's going to be 6. Cooperation. It doesn't apply because it says a +3 status faction asks you for a favor. If you don't have a +3 faction status, you avoid entanglements right now. This is the benefit of keeping your heat low. Yes.
Bad.
Now we're going to do downtime and then XP. So, let's go around. First of all, Bart.
yes, I would very much like to reduce my stress.
So you're going to indulge your vice?
Yeah,
Go home, play
I
with
am-
kids.
Is anybody not doing that?
I feel like if Ran was here, they wouldn't, but
Yeah, fair.
yeah, I'm
All right, so
stressed.
you can
I'm
do
visibly
your...
stressed. I'm not even like walking back to the hideout. I'm like walking straight to my house, gonna chill out with the kids for a bit, and just like kind of ghost the crew for like 12 hours maybe.
All right, so you can do your indulge vice roll. Should be right there on your sheet. So you clear 4 dice,
take it.
4 vice. 4 stress. Words. I'm not good at them at all. All right. What else do you want to do?
I think I'm going to, again, since I don't really have a long-term project that draws my attention, and I'm about to hit a ding on my own anyway, I think I'm going to lower our heat a bit.
Okay, so how are you doing that?
So, let me think. A lot of our heat sort of came from like cops and stuff in the area. I think I'm going to sort of do what I did last time. I'm going to go to the bar, carouse, and maybe like throw out a couple rumors here and there about like break-ins in the area, just sort of like otherize it, separate it from me, and just kind of make it seem like this one implied break-in, it can't possibly have been just, you don't want to focus on that. There's a larger scale thing going on that's not us.
So are you consorting?
I think so.
Okay, all right. So make a consort roll. Let's just see what the... You reduce 1 heat, so I'll take 1 heat off. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, I'll
He
take
rolled
a 1
a 1.
in downtime over a 1 in action anytime.
All right. How about Malia? What's your downtimes looking like?
Well, I'm gonna indulge my vice, which, good old fashioned, make a ritual circle, commune with the exultant dark. That
as one does.
Normal things. That button, I still haven't located it.
You still haven't located what? The indulge vice button?
Yes.
Well,
It's right under the character descriptions to the left.
It's right under the vice per vein, right above the traumas.
There it is. Boop, doing it. No bonus dice.
5 stress, not bad.
I am going to remove all but 1 stress.
Very good. And what else are you going to do?
Well, if that didn't go well, it was going to do that again. But given that went well, think I'm going to help reduce heat, because how much that we have left now?
2.
Bunch.
Well, we have wanted level, so I could try to set up a blue coat to take the fault for us. That's not a downtime action.
Yeah, so the only way to reduce wanted is through incarceration. So that's a whole thing.
That's why I said take the fall for us. It's a whole thing.
We do have people for that.
We do have that gang. We did get that gang for explicitly this reason, if I recall.
I did, in fact.
You used the word Fall Guys.
I did.
Oh no.
Yes.
That's so kind of you.
We just hired patsies.
I think the other one's going to be train playbook.
Okay, so you're not going to reduce heat. You're going to train?
No, because we're only at 2 heat. That's
okay.
pretty low, actually.
All right. So, all right, cool.
Also,
what kind of training are you doing?
I also couldn't come up with a compelling way to reduce heat.
I think if it was me, I wouldn't reduce 2 heat neither.
Yeah. I was just like, Avmalia is more of a gaining heat kind of person than a reducing heat kind of person.
Fair.
Gotta get points and consort. Join
so
the party.
So what are you training?
I'm training my playbook, so all my weird whisper shit, which is probably gonna actually look pretty similar to indulging my vice.
Fair. Very fair. Cool. Forda, what's Rhodes doing for downtime?
First, I'm gonna indulge my vice. I mean, I just went and found some good information. I'm gonna go talk to this Circle of Flame and rather people I know who are in it, and cash in that obligation a little bit. And so I guess I'm like mentally I was envisioning it as I went in there and said, I have information you might want to hear.
Okay.
And
so yeah, you're getting all up in their business, right?
And so so on the one hand I feel like I'm going in there with this commanding presence, but I don't think that that's quite how a command works. So
this is but anyway, it's just an indulge vice roll. So anyway,
either way,
it's not an action roll. It's just an indulge vice. The thing is, it uses your lowest of your attributes. That's how it works behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So it'll do it automatically if you just hit that button.
Sorry. Yeah.
Like for you, that's going to be 1 die for sure.
Where did it go?
You just click on... It's right above the traumas.
I hit the thing, but ha! I'm on the wrong page. No bonus dice.
Clear 2 stress.
All right, and then I'm gonna do that again because
All right.
I need.
You
to
still
clear some
have...
stress.
Yeah, you do. 3 more. Very good. So you clear a total of 5 stress for your 2 downtimes. All right, Cole. What about you?
Surprising no one. I'm going to indulge my vice.
Yeah, we got to talk later about what your vice is, but we can deal
As
with
an
that.
analyst, I'm also going to add 2 more ticks to that long-term project. Excitement.
Cool. How far along is it?
I have 2 left.
Okay. Oh yeah, learn about the demons to make a better bug spray. That's right. Yeah.
I'm using the experiences we just had as case study.
So, Davina,
Yes.
it sounds to me like your vice is probably not obligation. It's probably some type of pleasure, could be gambling, could be luxury or stupor, depending on what kind.
I think it's pleasure.
Okay. What
And-
and we can be circumspect if you want. What kind of pleasure is she indulging in?
The falling into bed kind.
Fair enough.
Carnal variety.
Yeah, that's considered stupor, but just pleasure. Yeah, pleasure. So we'll talk
Okay,
later on about.
stupor.
Yeah, we'll talk. No, it's pleasure is good. We'll talk later about your vice purveyor, but for now you can just indulge your vice.
Okay, going to do that. Because boy howdy.
Boyd howdy.
4? Take
All right.
away 4 or 2 or
You-
what?
You take away
higher
4,
number.
whatever the higher. Yeah.
Okay. 1. Odo, go away. How do I make it? Oh, jeez. Okay. So 7 minus 4 is 3. So I have 3 stress. Yeah? Did I do math right? Yes, I did. I can do math. I'm very smart. Okay. And then I would like to... Could I train my playbook?
You absolutely
Yes.
can train your playbook.
Yeah, I want to do that.
And because we've got the playbook training, you get 2 points.
Yep. So you put 2 points into
Yeah.
your playbook track.
Nice.
What are you working towards? Do you know yet? Or you're not sure yet.
I think Ghost Hunter.
Oh my God, that's so good. Your hunting
Yeah.
pet imbued with spirit energy. Oh.
Oh.
Maybe
yeah.
spend some time with Anvalia.
The will make it all voidy.
You fascinate me.
I have a player in my home game who's a hound with that ability, and she has a lot of fun with her Void Raven.
Very good.
Void Raven, writing down.
All right, so that's our downtimes. Let's do crew XP. Crew XP. Did you... Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Yes. You definitely get one for executing a successful espionage operation. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? I'm going to say yes.
There was a demon.
There was a demon. Did you bolster your crew's rep or develop a new one?
Oh, we
Yep.
got some status with the inspectors.
Which is like super.
Ooh, you know, that being the case, I'm going to give you 2 XP for that. Because you bolstered your rep there, or you created a new one there, but also you just kind of you got your regular rep. So I think that you should get XP for both of those. Did you express the goals, drive, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
kind of, maybe.
Pretty creepy.
What do you think?
So I think we expressed our goals as a crew because we went after this high money, very dangerous thing and came out in one piece.
I think you did as well because specifically your reputation is about being strange professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, y'all? You filled your crew advancement track.
Sweet.
So we're not going to decide tonight, but I will say that when we do take that advancement, everybody's going to get some stash.
Neat.
So,
Heck yeah.
Money.
Yeah, so, we'll talk about that offline so we can get the other two players involved. But when you, for every time the crew advances, each PC gets stash equal to the crew tier plus 2. So you'll be able to, we'll do this during the week. You'll take a new special ability or Mark II crew upgrade boxes, but we'll do that in Discord. You can go through your own individual XPs. We don't have to do that unless somebody really wants to. It is, we can do it here if somebody's got a question like, hey, what do y'all think? But basically, it's on you decide.
I mean, I find it's also pretty fun to just reminisce about the
Sure.
session with it.
So let's do yours first, Nat.
I mean, if people are into that. All right. So you addressed a challenge with knowledge or arcane power.
I feel like that happened.
Yeah.
a lot.
That was definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it happened multiple times.
All right. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
You freaking worshipped a water demon right there.
Yeah.
Literally.
Kind of dripped in that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's one more.
All right. And then you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas during the session.
I don't think so. You don't have any traumas.
I was actually, but my vice is communing with demons, and I worshipped a demon.
All right, that's fair. I didn't realize that was your vice. It doesn't list here, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, do I not have that in somewhere?
But I believe it's fine. It doesn't surprise me that your vice is weird.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that tracks. Totally tracks.
All right, cool.
So, yeah, all right, that's cool. Forda, how about for Cecropia?
Oh, right. So, today.
Oh,
Yes. What?
I'm just looking at yours. It's fine.
That doesn't sound fine.
No, no. Okay, so your first one is what's your playbook specific XP question? No.
Okay.
I was being supportive. I'm sorry.
So I got distracted because I'm like, oh, what's happening? You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. I certainly addressed the mayhem of this thing.
That's exactly what I was saying.
I feel like I did that twice.
Yep. It did it multiple times.
Okay.
It was like the lock was dealing.
Oh yeah. That's fair.
There's that. I express beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Yes, I expressed my heritage with my mothy hair.
Also, did we interacting with the priesty person, or was that a thing that we ruminated on?
We didn't end up doing that, sadly.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
And I sort of expressed background as far as being like, it's okay if we almost murder a guy because I can bring him back. I was the doctor, but we didn't actually
if you did
do
that,
either.
yeah.
So,
And did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I certainly did. I almost walked off with some books, and
I wish you had.
certainly picked up.
But not for the reason
in
that y'all are
first
thinking.
place.
Not as a complication. But, like, you could have gotten more coin for those things.
Oh, we did take the one book that got a bullet hole in it, right?
We did.
I put it back on the shelf.
We put it back
No?
on the shelf.
Yeah, y'all were we had a whole conversation. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
I
I
remember
wanted
that
you to take it.
conversation.
And you were like, no, I put it
ended up taking that
back.
one.
No, y'all put
Because
everything
we
back.
talked about how it didn't look visibly bulleted from the spine, so we just
I
kind of
remember,
back.
I remember that comment. I don't remember
Yeah.
a then statement afterwards of okay, I leave it on the shelf.
Yeah, no, he
think
did.
it might have been-
Maybe it was like set up but not
explicitly,
like finalized in my head. I
And
get
that's
I
what
have
then.
that as
Then
an
I was
interaction sometimes for me.
still like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, we're
But
not
that
thinking
was about
nothing."
everything else.
Yeah.
And
So I did that at least once. I feel like I did it twice, but
It's up to you.
kind
I
of
don't know
shaky
if the other one was.
I think you did it twice.
because it was there. There was a demon to study.
Davina.
Okay, so pull this up. You addressed a challenge with tracking or violence.
It was tracking.
I think tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I mark playbook advancement.
You can mark it wherever you want.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Did you?
Eh.
Yes. Oh, no. I'm looking about the device. No. Beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not really, no.
I feel like one of the things that I find missing sometimes in Blades in the Dark is that there aren't ample opportunities to like pull people aside and have a conversation. Like you have to intentionally move to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what free play is for as well. Like, hey, I want to have a scene where I go off and do this, and we can totally do that.
But you have to like be very intentional about it. So
Yep.
it's easy to miss like, oh, I was of Malia and Davina having a talk about their experiences with the sea would have been cool, but it just never quite happened.
I think
Yeah.
that's fair.
We should do it next time.
You absolutely
We should.
should.
I was
always
thinking it.
block out time at the beginning for free play. Absolutely. And then, did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I don't have any trauma yet, and I indulged my vice, but I don't think I.
I think you
It
almost
wasn't an issue
did.
at the beginning, but you did.
You
flirt with the
referenced it,
bartender.
and if it had caused trouble, but yeah, I don't think it did in this case.
No, I don't think so.
So you're very close. The next time you do something that gets you XP, then you're going to get in playbook XP. So you'll definitely level up next. Not level up. You'll get a new special ability next time. All right, and Chase.
Yeah. So addressed a challenge with violence or coercion. That's what I do.
Yes.
I tackled a demon.
You tackled the demon. Yep.
At which point, ding, and the rest of this goes to my next playbook advancement.
Nice.
That is the case, because I knew that with heat the rest rolls over, but
Yes.
if I did, I can keep, cool.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because playbook advancements are...
And of course, all of this XP that you're taking, you could also put into any of the attributes to eventually get an extra die in one of your actions. And if you put it in prowess, you'll get... No, that would be training. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm mostly gravitating towards the playbook because it's so cool, and at this point I roll a lot of desperate actions, so we'll get there.
Because y'all make poor choices. I mean, what?
You're
Okay.
full of bad choices, and it's excellent.
So, did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I believe so. Like, Bart is very much a dad, and first instinct once inside the building is protect all of the children who might actually be older than him, to be honest, but...
I think that's fair because you also picked up Malia and carried her.
Yeah. So that was the knee-jerk there. There was...
That's good.
In lowering the heat, I very much go on the everyman route of like, hey, let's drink together and talk about things that aren't me.
And then, did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
Don't get me
either.
wrong. I struggle with things that are very soon to become traumas, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because sadly, that clock doesn't count. Not yet.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. All right. Well, let's go around. I want to try something new this time. or more formalized for. I mean, obviously, still, tell us where people can find you on the internet, or if there's anything coming up in the next week that you'd like people to come see or whatever. But I'd like to do kind of a stars and wishes. So feel free to give out a star to. It could be, generally to one of the other people here in the game, something they did that you thought was really cool. It could also, honestly, be a star to the game itself, like, hey, there was this mechanic that we engaged for the first time and I really liked it, etc., etc. So that is totally valid. And then a wish is something that, hey, you'd like to see more of next time, right? Or in the future. Not even next time, just in the future. Hey, I'd like to, have someday, I'd like to deal with more of those goats, or whatever. Or if there's something that you want to talk about privately offline, absolutely feel free to do that as well. Let's go around. Hey, Cole, get any stars and wishes from you? And, of course, your outro.
Stars and wishes. Of course, I loved Amvalia's whole let me slink under this doorway by turning into a void puddle. So, that was cool.
Do you want to see more of that?
I don't know. I'm conflicted. And then for wishes, that's a good question. I guess just like I want to be better about initiating like free play and stuff because I'm a little bit more role play heavy. So
sure, yes,
yeah. So, but I really like this game so far, so it's really exciting, and I love the flavor. And then for my outro, you can find me on the Interbots over at the Twits at Cole Moriel, and you should check out Tuesday on Featherfall Tabletop because Session 1 of The Gods We Know goes live.
Cool. Cool. All right. Forta, how about you?
Okay, so
in any order you want, yeah.
Stars of tonight's session was of Malia and Beryl just coming in clutch. Not like that was great. Plants the evidence, we commune with a team. Not really, but kind of really.
So much
bodily
happened.
yeeting a person and yourself. Like
bodily yeeting, oh god.
My aesthetic.
Cool.
Just right. Wishes. I'm also same on the free play portion of things because I really want to dig in on some of these vices and traumas, and I'm like, I don't know how to go about doing it yet, but I want to dig in.
I've heard the Magpie playlist is really good. Like they have their whole thing in this system, but it's like an audio drama.
Okay.
Oh, like a podcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think there's. I was thinking like a playbook, and I was like, what?
No.
Excellent playbook name, Magpie.
I think that's an ability. I don't remember. Anyways,
Yeah.
anything else you want people to know about that's coming up?
Oh, so I still haven't put together the official sheet for it, but I'm gonna be doing commissions for little decorative borders, like this kind of thing, if you can see it.
Yeah.
Or like these, where it's like delicate ink stuff, because it's Inktober.
Nice.
Womp womp.
I'm
Yes.
also doing putting together some examples of simple headshots, bust shots, because I'm not doing anything fancy this month. None of that. I say fancy, anything complicated.
Right.
I would just like to endorse that Forda's really good at those things, and she did our tokens for a very old stream, and I still have mine, and it makes me smile.
Cool.
Oh, and prices on those are like $25 for 4 borders, or I gotta figure
That's
out
good.
on the
That's real good.
other stuff, but borders are gonna be cheap because they're fun.
Cool.
25 for 4 of anything when it comes to art is a great deal.
Now I just need more things I want borders on.
Right. Nat, what you
And
got?
I can just give you the borders. You can use them for anything.
Stars. Oh, I want to formally thank Beryl for saving my little disaster child's butt.
Beryl is a disaster child in that he puts himself in the way of the other disaster childs and the disaster, so...
See,
Got
Malia
you.
is a disaster in the sense that she just lives inside the essence of disaster.
Yeah, we've got a vibe.
So
That's the thing.
I would love to see more of you saving my butt. As for wishes, I I too feel like in the way that the game structures and chunks along, it's got all these pieces that move and feel good, but at the same time, I feel like we're missing some of those characterization moments where we get to see the character's character outside of the score, and maybe like that's where it matters the most. But I would love some opportunities to, like for direct role play, where we're zoomed in and to get a little more out of those characters
Maybe a
with each
session
other.
where we don't even do a score, where we just tackle downtime and free play. The scores are fun.
I think we could do like
we set up for a later score.
Yeah, or we could also just have what intends that's a very small score, very small payoff, takes very short time. Like the session in our first session, that first score was like when you dropped from the bridge. Yeah, it was like that. So yeah, we can we can talk offline about those things. I'm picking up on a theme.
I love Blades in the Dark, but it's almost funny the more we play, the less and less of the score we are like, you need to leave more time for downtime at the end, do a more free play, and the score is going to end up being 5 minutes in the middle when we rob a candy shop.
It's just going to have smaller payoffs.
That's kind of the goal of the game, though. Your goal is to get to the point where you don't got to do scores anymore for these characters, where they retire.
Yeah.
Roach is not going to get there.
No.
Oh.
No, he's not. He's going to die a horrible death.
Or just leave the scoundrel business. He may retire, but he's not going to retire with full stash. I'm sorry, Nat, what was the other thing that you had?
I'm just going to do my outro. So I'm Nat. You can find me at CrimeNat on Twitter. I am a layout designer, editor, writer, game designer. Hire me. I'm good.
He is good. Hire him.
It's true. Nat is a treasure.
If you want to see me play a less creepy but somehow bigger disaster child, you can go over to Encounter Roleplay on Mondays at 6 Eastern for our Ravnica game where I am our demure spy wizard who thinks he's a rogue. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I should see that. Chase, what you got?
Yeah. I am Chase. You can find me at Fromonger on Twitter. I'm not really doing anything right now. I don't have another game going, but if and when I do, I'll signal boost it there and stuff. Stars for the session, there were legitimately so many. I appreciated the super small little roleplay moments that I had with Davina, both when we were hawking wares during the scoping out, and also the nudge, hey, look at our melty teammate sort of situation. A star that I really want to throw out is to you, Kyle, actually, because I know that you've got the little roleplay chatter channel on our Discord muted because it's way, way too much stuff. But there's a couple things that I mentioned in there on things that I'm very interested to explore with Bart that it feels like you're heading in that direction. So a star that we're on the same wavelength on this character, I'm super excited to see where we go.
I do pop in there once in a while. I just can't have it always ding, ding.
Oh, no. It's way too much.
Now, that said, our general channel, any chat in there, I got a notification for.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, yeah, as far as Wish, it's a lot similar. I'm in love with all of these disaster children, and if we could just live stream constantly just us RPing, I love the scores. They're super exciting, but, just more RP. I'm all for it. And I've got a couple ideas I want to suggest for downtime stuff, but we can talk about that in Discord.
Yeah, and I have some ideas I have a few ideas of ways to kind of hack the game to do more of this open role play.
I'm loving it so far.
So, first of all, I was glad that we were able to do a high payout thing for you. And also, so I'll have a star for Forda, actually, because when I was tell me what it is that tells you this bookshelf, you come up with something that I would never have guessed. And I was like, I'm so glad that I just threw that to the player instead of like, oh, you're messing around and you find the secret door, and you're like, and instead of just doing that, saying, how is it that you find it? I thought that narration was really cool, and I could feel my hairs standing up at that time. For wishes, I would like to see. This isn't about I want somebody to do something different. An element in the game I would like us to be able to highlight at some point is sort of the either the spark rights or the electroplasm or kind of the spark craft. That's what I'm looking for. Kind of the steampunky parts. Yeah, I love the gadgets
I'm
coming.
working towards it.
Yeah, I'm imagining like Tesla coils and burning, Bunsen burners and all this kind of stuff. Frankenstein's lab kind of thing. Or
we have a workshop now.
We do have a workshop. For things going on. So other than being back here, of course, at the same time next week, I will be on So Many Games with a Z on Wednesday night at 7 Eastern, 6 Central for GM chat. I don't know what we'll be talking about yet, but it's going to be fun. So come hang out there with us. I think, Nat, you've been on there before.
Yeah, I was just on there last week. It was great.
And I was on there a couple of weeks before. Yeah, it's a good community, so follow them there. And then I have some other stuff in the works, but they're not quite out yet. I'm doing a game jam right now, and I'm going to try to do another one-shot this week, maybe Tuesday. We'll see. I don't know if it's going to happen. Got a lot going on with kids. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for Troke. I don't know if that's how you say their name.
I think it's Trook. Like
Trook. Okay. All right. It's fair. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we will catch folks next week.